Is that your theme song?
I was gonna, but I heard someone go, "Oh no!"
I'll just sit here and hate myself.
I would love to take blame for this, so I will, but it wasn't.
All right, so I've just got computer ghost. It's fine. Hey, paisanos, swing your arms from side to side because it's time to get out of my dreams and into my car. Because I'm playing the latest episode of the Otaku podcast over my car speakers. Whoa. YouTube.com, Anchor.fm, and now available
on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Ico Partners ran E3 media comparisons for the biggest names and draws this year. Nintendo and Smash Brothers were comparatively low. So, somehow this correlates in a drop of stock. Alright, fuck it. In lieu of all this, fuck it. We're doing a Smash Brothers episode. No, seriously. Between its reveal and the time of taping this, nearly every conversation that I've had has led to a long cookie cutter back and forth about it. So we're just gonna do enough talking about it today that we'll be set until the launch in December, alright? So, to that end, I've made some changes to the roster.
Choose your character!
Returning veterans include your host, Big L Dente. Hey, that's me. Whoa. And LeonKiske.
You know what, man? I gotta say, every new intro, just, I want to say it's better than the last one, but I have questions.
We can, questions are for after the show. And newcomers, SailorSmitty.
Oh man, I'm tired.
And Alex, Bloody Shadow Cabral.
Hi. That's all I got. That's all I got. Bye. It was great to come on.
Hey, welcome.
That was a good time. See ya.
Oh shit, wait, come back. We're not done. I promise, there's more. So, alright, now that that's out of the way, it's obvious that the four of us here care enough about this stupid party game enough to talk about it for like 2 or so hours. So why don't we start with a little history, okay? We'll work backwards from here. So, Mr. Cabral, former host of Random Assault, welcome. Why don't you tell the listener about your history with Smash?
The one listener. Well, let's see. I was garbage at Melee, and I hated that characters wanted to die so bad that they never grabbed onto ledges, and so I refused to play it after a point. And then Brawl came out, and everyone said, that's a baby game. It's slow and floaty and full of garbage, and all the textures are so rough and gritty, and everything's desaturated, and so I loved it. And it was wonderful, and I played the hell out of it until I lost every brain cell. And then Smash 4 came out, and it was faster, and I went, hey, I actually have a grip on Smash Brothers now, so this is playable to me. And they added ledge cling, so that's fine. Even though everyone hates it, that's what I like. And
the term you're looking for is magnet hands?
Excuse me, magnet hands. Pardon me. Wave dashing. That's all I got. Smash Brothers is great. I love... I like... Smash Brothers as a game, but I like it more as a museum of Nintendo. And it seems the further along it goes, the more they clamor to find obscure things and just cram it into the game. And that's the shit I love. I love when there's this tired subject that I've held on to forever, and then all of a sudden this out of nowhere thing shows up, and it's like, oh man, I gotta actually look into this, and I learned something.
Yes.
So all I give a shit about is 1,000 trophies, please. Thank you.
No, please, no more. I'll never be able to grind. No.
9,000, 5,000 trophies.
They'll lock all but one out of the 9,000 behind an event that you have to go to Nintendo New York and bring your memory card, so they can upload that onto your save file for you. And then they'll be like, oh wait, actually, we're never going to do this event. Sorry. You
have to beat Smash 64 on an N64 cartridge at Nintendo World to unlock the last trophy and Smash Ultimate.
On your Switch.
Yep.
Seems legit.
All right, Mr. Kiske.
Oh Jesus.
Hi
man.
again.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm surviving.
Oh, good.
Yeah. That's all anybody can really hope for, right? A little bit of survival.
Enough of the
little bit.
pleasantries and give me that Smash history.
Survival.
All right, Smash history. Oh God, Jesus. Well, I've been a long-time player. Started back in the day with the N64, as all good Smash loyalists should. Favorite character back then was Pikachu. I was really good with him, or at least as good as a fucking 10-year-old could be.
Spamming down B. Gotcha.
Yep. And I don't know. Eventually, I transitioned over to Ness. I learned the secret art of the elevator kick.
Jesus.
Oh, so good. Oh.
Again, as best as a 10-year-old child could do at the time, or however old I was. I don't remember. When did that game come out? It doesn't matter.
I'm looking it up now because I'm feeling old, even though I don't know. 99. Yeah, that's it.
That's
Damn.
probably right.
Ugh.
And then Melee happened. I played Melee for a long time. In fact, that's how I met. Well, not how I met the two of you, but that's how we got to play and
Indeed.
playing Melee back in the day. Brawl was fun. I didn't really get too into it though. I didn't really have a Wii at the time, so I only played it when we were, like hanging out. And then Smash Wii U came out. Final Smashes are sick, and I like that they finally put some pizzazz into it, other than just slapping some sticks around.
All right. Yep. We're all right, Mr. Smitty. I want to say thank you for doing what you can for the country, there, Mr. Military Man.
Oh yeah, man. Don't sweat it.
We did a shout out to them in a couple episodes back, and you were definitely included in that. So I just wanted to say thanks personally, because it's like you're in Guam, you're very far away.
Yeah, they keep putting me on islands, and I'm starting to get suspicious.
Of what?
They're trying to keep me from society or something.
Uh-oh. Does that mean they're gonna find us?
I don't know.
Now that we've got you on this podcast, they're gonna track us down. They've got our IP address.
They can try if they like. I don't think they could be bothered.
Not even the government wants to listen to your podcast in order to catch you.
Yeah.
Fucking Trump, I knew it. They're always keeping me down, man. All right, before I put my tinfoil hat on, Mr. Smitty, go ahead. Tell me. I'm looking for a specific story, and I want to see if you can recall it.
Oh, I know what story it is, Matt.
Please.
Let's not doubt the story. But my experience with Smash, I never really had an N64. My childhood with step siblings was very strange, so they had 64s, but I never really got to play stuff. So all my 64 Smash experience was at the doctor's offices with Bomberman games and Smash and things like that.
Nice.
And so I never got to beat it, but I did get to play as much as I could. Then Melee came out. When the GameCube came out and I had that, it was my first game. So that's pretty much my platform of choice. And since I didn't really know better and I was trying to try out other characters, I went with my boy Roy. And I was all for it, even though I didn't know what a Fire Emblem was. now I'm neck deep in that stuff. And
you're telling me you won't play a waifu simulator?
Oh my god!
Yeah, neck deep in Fire Emblem though, and then I found interesting and new ways to deal with Roy's unfair stationary B attack. It was a charge blade. Managed to find a way to make it mobile. But Wii U, Brawl, all those versions, I never really could get into them unless I was playing with somebody like you. Go to your place and then just get my face smashed in on Smash. How appropriate.
Get it? No, it wasn't always that way, though.
No, it wasn't. So let's see. All right, let's get to the part you care about. So this story, I am pretty sure it's about when it was me as Roy, Leon as Marth, and Matt as Fox. if I
Yes.
recall. And
This
the Hyrule
is what you
Temple.
wanted.
And we were all killing each other because teams was a joke. And Matt is quite good with Fox. And Chris and I were getting a bit tired of it, but we were too busy having counter battles with each other where we would try to anticipate an attack and end up just countering at each other at the same time like a pair of idiots while Matt will shoot us from a distance. And we managed to get close under the map. So it was very hard to smash someone out of it. And I was charging up my B attack to its fullest. Matt thought he was going to be able to, a wave dash? And he was going to get through me, but I managed to hit him with it as he came towards me. And apparently the game thought that to be some sort of projectile attack because Chris, out of panic, countered my blade. At the same time, Matt got hit by it, which somehow doubled the damage back to Matt for no reason and hit him so hard that he died even though he didn't go anywhere. He was deleted from the map.
No, you forgot the last bit.
What's that?
My body was a projectile at that point. And when he hit me back at you, you countered me.
I B-bladed, Leon counted, came back, I countered again. And then
but I was the attack. I had done nothing, but my flailing body was considered an attack. So you countered me physically.
How the character's model became a physical point of reference for damage to be countered. Like we can't counter a player, you counter an attack. But apparently your flaming corpse was a different thing. And but since your damage percentage was so high and the counter had multiplied to I think was about 350% when it got to me on its own, the game couldn't render the speed at which you flew. So it just removed you all together. It didn't say you died from the top, bottom, or sides. You just left. The screen shook, no flash, and you were gone. And we never saw you again. Because you just happened to be on your last life, and it was startling, and we just stood there wondering what happened. And then Chris killed me because I was sitting there stunned, and Matt, you got your revenge with your custom amiibos that did terrible things to my psyche when I came to visit you.
Well, that was a team effort between a ton of people, but I like to think I got my revenge when you invited me over once for a brawl, and you had a couple of your friends over, and it's like, I'll pick Sonic, haha. And you're like, please stop.
Actually,
please stop playing.
Sonic isn't even the one that bothers me that you play. It was Young Link that triggers me now when I think about
Young Link?
Yeah.
I don't remember playing Young Link that much. It must have been pretty bad. Well,
it was you or somebody.
Speaking of Young Link, though, did you know that he's back?
Yeah,
did you know
Team Link and regular Link.
Yeah, I know, right? Holy shit, everyone's back! What?
How unnecessary.
What
Change it.
If they existed in Smash before, they're back again.
Everybody's back.
Everybody is here.
So in the next game, they're just going to have to be everybody else is in. So none of the main roster is in the next game, but literally every character who hasn't made it yet is.
They're gonna pull
in the next game.
They're gonna pull a Street Fighter 3. You're gonna put Mario and Luigi in, and then that's it. And everybody else is gonna be brand fucking new.
In the next game, you play as all the assist trophies and the box of Ultimate, and all the other main characters are assist trophies.
You play as an assist trophy stand, and you have to collect the other characters like in Subspace.
Before you can even play them.
Yeah.
Garbage.
That sounds painful.
Ways to turn me off Smash. Well, a brief history for me, because I'm just going to hit the fast forward button. You know, I started 64 like everybody else. Melee was great. Had painful good times. I only really got into Smash a lot with Brawl because I turned it into my final college project, where I was pretty big into the Brawl Plus scene, and I was doing a lot of model edits and all of this crazy hacking stuff that I could spend an entire podcast getting into, but I won't.
I remember
I know
that.
I had you guys over to test out some of my awful creations, like the time I tried to recreate the anime Falcon Punch in the game. And
it did not work as planned.
Did you give birth to Captain Broken?
I did give birth to Captain Broken because somewhere in the code that I had written, I made him for that cutscene ungodly powerful so I could pull off the anime shit that I wanted, but I never really wrote a part that told the game to stop letting him be God. So he was always just God. He was running around, infinite jumps, infinite iframes, zero lag. There's no... he was just a monster, and everybody sat there peeing their pants playing this guy, and he would often crash my game to the point where the Wii just sat there hard locked and made fucking touch me inappropriately noises.
You could Falcon punch 7 times in one jump. That's how fast he was.
Yeah, it was unbelievably stupid, and I brought that build to anime conventions, and I was like, write down what you want me to do, and I'll try my best to do it, and next year I'll have more for you. And some of the requests I got were obnoxious, and everybody loved Captain Broken so much that they're just like, no, please, just make every other character this broken. And I'm like, ooh. Things happened. I turned it in. My professor thought it was really funny. I passed college, and I threw that shit in the trash.
I passed college.
I passed the college. I did it. But there was an instance with that Wii where something had gone so horribly wrong that the motherboard fried and smoke started coming out of the GameCube controller ports.
Nice.
And I'm like, so I gave up on Smash Brothers then, and then the new one got announced, and I'm like, shit. So I played Wii U. That was fun. Have amiibos. I do amiibo tournaments at another anime convention in Manchester, New Hampshire. So that's always a good time.
What the fuck?
And with this
is an amiibo? Is it you just fucking drop an amiibo down and they just go ham?
Yeah, everybody who comes in writes down their name and their amiibo that they brought. We put a sticker on it, and we draw up giant brackets, and we see whose amiibo is the best. And my Kirby is still undefeated. That thing is a terror from the deep. I want to drop him in the stream at some point for you guys to see him.
You have a Eldritch Horror Kirby?
He is terrifying. Rory knows firsthand.
I do know firsthand. I couldn't even get one knockout on it.
The fuck did you do to this thing?
A lot.
Carved it for attention, and then he brought me here, and he said, "Look, Kirby, that guy wants to give you a hug. Give him a hug." And
oh no, that wasn't the starving for attention part. The starving for attention part was the hey, Smitty, I sure do hate Lucina and Dark Pit and Corrin, so I took Sans Undertale and I hacked off a Mii fighter and I put him on the stand instead. So now it's Sans. Fight Sans.
Yeah, you shouldn't have done that to me. Our friendship was tested that day.
You're right, because after that we played Enter the Gungeon. Oh boy.
Our friendship was tested that day.
So there's the history. That's the ultimate fast forward.
I just like to point out that you guys are talking about tournaments and hacking and modding and melee, and I am way out of my league. I am.
Well, it sounds like you're going to have to hang out a whole lot more.
Brawl. It's slow and floaty and really dark and gritty.
Well, I mean, that's where I was in there too. I liked it so much that I tore it to pieces. I kill everything I love.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Don't sound so sad, champ. No, that means you're going to have to hang out a lot more, Alex. We'll be streaming this game.
Does that mean
Smash
you're going to kill me someday?
Yes. I have to take you down with me just like everybody else.
Those other assholes wouldn't even come close. They were so worried about their own death.
Well, they're all dead now, and they're just having fun.
Thank
but
God.
like, you're just buried deeper than them, so it's going to be a while before they get there. Yeah, Ultimate. So in the thing I sent you guys,
right?
The thing I was going to talk about, all of my notes were clustered in this giant piece of crap at the top, which is like Mashed Potato Samurai, Smash Brothers, everybody's back, herp. These are all notes that I had for the E3 episode, and I know we went over some of them, Mr. Kiske, but just the stuff that stood out the most when it came to Smash Brothers Ultimate, the things I wanted to touch on, I left in there. You know, I really didn't think 8 players was going to come back because I was like, oh, people are going to play this shit on the go. They're not going to be able to see 8 players on this screen. Well, fuck. You couldn't do it on the 3DS. Why would they do it here? But it's back.
Yeah, I'm upset that they brought it back. 8-player Smash is probably Man, I think it's worse than Smash Tour. I'm saying it right now.
For
I
real?
think 8-player Smash might be the worst thing they've done to Smash Brothers. It's a.
I love 8 players though.
No,
I
you
also
love it
dislike
because of
8
how
Smash.
hilarious it is. You don't love it because it's fun to play. Because keep in mind, I'm a shithead and I usually play alone because no one likes me. So when I'm like, oh, I'm going to be the guy to get all the trophies and unlock all the stuff, 8-player Smash to me says, oh, good, the computer's going to have full control while there's a big explosion in the middle of the screen and we'll see how many bodies fly out until it tells me I lost.
Yeah, that's half the fun.
Yeah, it is. You make me feel bad. That means you have to come over.
Oh.
We have to play Smash. No, 8-player Smash is how I trained all those amiibos.
I bet. If it can survive that, it could live through the void consuming the universe.
Well, Kirby was a different story because I treated him like the basketball in Space Jam, where I brought him around to the tournaments and conventions I was going to, and I just had all the good players fight it. And there you go. That's
Okay, I was
Kirby.
gonna say there's a lot of basketballs in Space Jam.
The one magic
Talking
one
about
where
the one
they
that steals people's powers.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that's the most important one.
the basketball.
I guess it was implied.
Come on and slam.
Your call.
And welcome to the. I gotta.
Japan.
Nope, that joke's dead. Final Smashes. Someone brought up those, and those look so much better than the last iterations.
I can appreciate that not a lot of them are transformations anymore. I wasn't a big fan.
None of
things
them are.
Like Yoshi just turning into some sort of Yoshi dragon and just the same thing. You just spamming attack sideways and flying around and being difficult to hit. Yeah, I get it. It's turning them more powerful, but I appreciate the ones more that either require you to aim for one big shot or something that takes up a lot of the screen, like Ness or Lucas. Because that would be fun. Because you see someone get that and you're just going to sit there like, I'm going to immediately have to shift gears to defense real quick.
As a Donkey Kong main for 20 years, I have quite an erection. Thank you.
I know, right?
Thank you so much. Like, I loved the idea of the bongos. Again, Nintendo Museum. I appreciate it. But God, that was garbage and it was never, ever good.
Ever.
There's no, I've never been in a place where I'm like, haha, I found the useful spot. No. It's just everybody, let's clap our hands for 20 seconds and enjoy it.
Lamb Chops play along with Donkey Kong.
I do have to admit that it does seem a little odd from a lot of these Smashes, since they've revealed all of them, that if they didn't seem like they knew what they wanted to do with that character, they just gave them a giant multi-hit spam with a finishing blow.
It's very true.
Well, I was so happy. The thing that they said when they first brought up in that trailer that they're snappier and they get right to the point. They looked at Fox and they're like, "Hey, buddy, you're gonna put that thing in the fucking garage, right?" And he's like, "I guess."
Yeah, they said
I was so happy.
The tank is retired. It's like, let's make a giant vehicle that doesn't fit on just about any map and let it do barrel rolls on the ground.
Let it. Hey, Falcos can jump higher. Like, I'm so glad it's gone.
Honestly, related to those two things, I think that was the one part where I think it hurt the direct to talk about like the really cool fast smashes at the same time where they show Donkey Kong right before Little Mac, and they have the exact same thing, and it's like
they do.
That is not good timing at all.
They both go full JoJo.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of wanted, if they're doing it like this and they had the fake Smash Ball, that new item, on the screen at the same time as the regular Smash Ball, I'm kind of hoping, I know it's not going to happen, but I'm kind of hoping that we could get like 2 Smash Balls at once on the screen, because if you can team up Mac and DK for a joint fucking JoJo Aura Fest, that'd be fucking great.
That won't
like,
work.
Give me Team Supers.
I'll be that guy.
Like,
they can't
you're asking
program
for
it
too
that
much.
way.
Expand Dong and Little Dong?
They said that it's practically like a cinematic, gets it going and over with. So they would never be able to do 2 cinematics at the same time.
I know it's ridiculous and it's a lot to ask for, but it was the earworm. I was like, oh shit, what if? And then I got to thinking, but like, it would be so cool. Things I would want them to do, it would take for fucking ever to find a partner for a character. But that's another thing I wanted to get into. But just imagine how rad that would be if you were playing teams and you had like your fated partner or whatever they would call them on your team, and you could do a team up super like Marvel versus Capcom style. Like, oh baby, sign me up for that.
If you needed to be 100% sure that they were dead, Team Smash.
I would get triggered all over again because it would flash into my mind the Roy Marth Fox melee incident and be like, oh god, he's really dead. Really dead. Speaking of really dead, 1v1s, the dramatic slow-mo effect when you give the other guy the poop.
Oh,
That's nice. It gives you a second to appreciate it.
Just like, look at this thing that you've done, the fruits of your labor, and it's gone.
Because it's like when even in Brawl, they had that like slight pause when a big hit came, but it wasn't nearly this dramatic. But you felt it. It felt like you were sitting there for like 15 minutes just being like, yep, he's just going to go flying. And now you can really soak it in.
The second he rolls wrong, that's it. That fucker's gone.
He's out of here.
And he's out of here. Get off my fucking court. But like, to drive it home, the whole, if you're fighting one-on-one, the damage percentage gets knocked up. Like, it was just like, so you can't really screw around. It just, you take a hard hit, you're going to find yourself taking like 13 or 15 more damage than usual. Like, I liked that.
It's one of those things I didn't realize I wanted until they had done it. It's like, yeah, a 1v1 doesn't need to be as monotonous as the rest of it. They actually kind of streamline it and make it easier to do and more enjoyable.
Yeah, ease was definitely something they were going for. Like, you could tell, like, even the fact that you could charge moves in midair, and characters with charge moves had like a meter shown where hey, look, Robin has this many uses of tome left, or Cloud's limit break is this full. Like, you can tell they're streamlining everything.
Yeah, because that's all
for everybody.
Really useful information.
Yeah, it is, because like now you don't have to guess anymore, and now all these people who are complaining about the quality of life stuff that they want can shut the fuck up because now they got it.
Don't worry, they'll move on to something acidine.
Yeah, there's always something else. Yeah, exactly.
I liked some of the characters that have taken a big hit, like Olimar or Link. You can see battle damage, even though it goes away. That I thought that was pretty cool, especially if you do get like a slow-mo Falcon Punch on Olimar's face. So not only is his helmet cracked, you could see it real close. You could just kind of take it in for a second, and then it's gone. You have to start over, but it's just, you feel it. Like, you earned that KO, bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, relish in it. KOing assists, too, was pretty big, especially since they rubbed it in everybody's face with Waluigi.
I wasn't a big fan of that because, first of all, who plays points? Nobody.
Yeah.
It's stuff all day. But even then, even if it was points, that would just make that nobody usually does points with items. And then if they do, and you throw assists in there, and it's going to throw the assists all out, or the assists are going to throw the points all out of whack. I mean, it would be hilarious to just see like someone with a big punch attack like Ganondorf charging up something. Someone busts out an assist trophy. It's some poor little Pokemon or something, and he just gets obliterated the second he comes out into the light. Wabba, boom!
Little Starfy just, there he goes.
3 point for me. So it's, I don't know, like, it's kind of a roll now. It's like, am I going to get something that's useful, or am I going to get something like some magic card that's going to flop around, and it's going to get casually pushed off the edge, and they're going to get a point off of that?
Well, that's a good point that you brought up, because like, no one is going to do, like, only the most casual of players are going to have all that on. So that's a good point. Like, you invite 10-year-old Timmy over and he's never played Smash before. He's just going to do a 2-minute time limit round with all items on. And he's not going to care. But all of us are going to sit here like, I'll invite you guys over. It's always going to be stock. Probably no items, Smash Ball maybe. So we're never going to take advantage of that.
I disagree. Because if it's going to work in the same way that, say, like the S flag works, or when you KO Ridley, if you dare to play with like stage hazards on or anything like that, and you KO Ridley or something, that adds to your KOs even in a stock match. So you could theoretically win a match by that.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's true.
That's true, but at the same time, you're dealing with a giant background boss like Ridley or the Yellow Devil from the Mega Man stages, but you know what it is, and half the time people are trying to avoid it, or it's just sitting there casually attacking everybody. Sure, whoever gets the last hit gets the kill. That's great. Good for you. I'm so proud. But this is an assist trophy that one specific player gets and can be easily murdered by anybody, most likely, unless you get some legendary Pokemon or something. And then someone else is going to get a point off of that.
Well, it's like, God forbid you get Starfy and Ganondorf punches his goddamn face off.
True.
Yeah. And then you're like, why did I pull that assist trophy? Oh, that's a good other way to look at it. You're like, do I really want to risk the fact that someone could KO this assist and get a point?
It's an assist trophy. Everybody's gonna grab it.
Everybody.
Well, there are some that you can't KO, but like, again, you pull Starfy, you're screwed because everybody's going to go over and beat that little fucker down. And you're going to be like, why did I pull the assist? Fuck it, turn the
That's when you
off.
realize that Sakurai's like, haha, little they know that there's a 1 in 100 chance that Starfy mega evolves somehow. And like just pulls out 2 machine gun arms and blows everyone away.
He gets anchor arms.
That would be fucking hilarious.
If he had like a black hole effect or something, because everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go after him. And then it just sucks him in and instantly KOs everybody. That's such a fucking Smash Brothers thing to do.
It is. There's gotta. You listen to this, Sakurai? It's a good idea. Write it down. Just fake everybody out. And like, I know I talked to you last time on the last episode, Chris, about Lynn, and we're just like, good luck KOing her because she's not there long enough.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like you should hope for Lynn every time you crack open an assist trophy because she's not sticking around.
She pops out, she crits you, she goes away.
Exactly.
Yeah, Manicotti Mayhem.
It's fucking. It starts and it's over.
What if I counter?
You have like 1 frame. You have 1 frame.
Like what if I counter though?
Exactly. You got 1 frame. You better fucking. That's a exact frame counter.
I didn't watch any of the tournament stuff. Did they? Have you seen Lynn's trophy in Smash Ultimate?
No, I haven't.
No, the only ones that we saw prominently, well, I know Bomberman. Bomberman was out a lot.
Well, they showed a Lynn in a video, but we don't know if it was for Ultimate or if it was back.
She was in the trailer for Ultimate.
Yeah.
She was one of the characters that popped up in the reel, but we didn't see her used live, I don't think. Okay. If we did, I missed it.
The question is, have they added more frames of animation or have they changed her animation so it makes potential to maybe knock her out?
Did they slow her down? I don't know.
That's a good question. I don't think they might have, but I doubt it.
Sakurai's boner bias with Fire Emblem is so high, I doubt that he'd probably be like, no, Lynn's my waifu.
Yes, but I mean, he's fighting his own boner, as most do. But you got your Fire Emblem boner, but then you have this, I got this new feature boner, and it's got to be something that's going to screw everyone over boner. So what's more important
it makes my
to
old
him?
boner. It makes my old boner look flaccid in comparison.
True. It's like my boner has broken open, and now a beautiful boner butterfly has sprouted.
There's a lot
it's got
going on right now.
What are we talking about?
Smash Brothers. Have you never played? Boner.
Yeah, dude.
I thought we were talking about Boner Brothers here.
Boner Brothers. Oh god.
Snatch Brothers.
Snatch Brothers? Oh shit, I'd play that. I would really play that. Here's another
hacker?
broken assist. Okay. Pokemon. Rory brought up legendary Pokemon. They added new Pokemon, and I didn't really care for most of them except for Abra. Abra was one that we saw getting used in the tournament, and that little fucker floats around. He's hard to keep track of, but he'll teleport, and he'll find somebody, and he'll teleport that person that he finds out to the blast line.
Really?
Like, it's so cheap. He takes you away. He does what Melee did to me all those years ago. He just takes you and he puts you somewhere, and if you blink, you're dead. And I'm like, that's so broken. I love it. All the other ones were just, look, it's a legendary. He goes fast, or it shoots a beam or whatever. Hey, look, Deoxys is back. I'm like, no. Did you guys see Abra? Did you see that? He almost killed that one dude in the tournament. Holy crap, that was great.
I hope they take more advantage. I am kind of sick of like, oh, we're going to add Pokemon. What are we going to do? Put the ones on the cover in. Like, Abra is such a great idea and just such an, like, not that Abra's a nothing Pokemon. I love him. But he's like this level 1, Gen 1, whatever. Like, put more of those in there. Like, bring the unknown ball back.
Right,
like,
or the
fuck shit. That's not going to kill you, but it's really going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because like all the legendaries, they all do something bonkers, but it's just at the end of the day, it's just beams or moving fast or whatever. Like I liked Manaphy, where it forced you to swap your player, so you were Mario, but suddenly you're Sheik because someone else is Sheik, and I was like, that's interesting. But I don't know, I didn't see enough of that creativity, and here comes Abra, this piss baby Pokemon who's just one of the best now, and I'm like, that's great. So you hit the nail on the head. Like, I don't know, it's just the little things.
Definitely got to do more of that.
Just the little things.
It's the little things. Here's another little thing. I'm sure you guys have all noticed that watching any videos online right now, you'd be able to tell when somebody is close to the blast line. There's this little map that pops up.
Yep.
That shows you where all the characters are in relation to the blast line. And hey, buddy, look out! You're about to die. Very helpful thing.
Very helpful thing. Not yet to be seen how intrusive it might be.
I don't think it'll be that bad. It's just like a mini map in the top right corner of the screen. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it goes away when people are away from the blast line. It only shows up when someone's gonna die. I thought that was neat. It like at first I thought Sakurai alluded to the fact that when he was watching people play the build that he brought to E3, he's like, "Oh, I see a bunch of things wrong. Like I forgot to do this, and this is a bug, and this is something I forgot to correct." And I thought that was like a debug feature that he forgot to turn off. I was like, "That's really cool. They should leave that in there. You're a douche for forgetting to turn that off because you're gonna get my hopes up." But he's like, "No, it's new." And I'm like, "Oh, all right."
Thank you, Daddy Sakurai.
Yeah, seriously, it's my birthday. And then the last thing he did. And the last thing that I have in that little text box was the sudden death. We went over that in the last episode.
With the screen.
It's
so good.
Chris, where they got rid of the bombs and they just intensely zoom in on everybody.
Yeah.
And everything's on fire.
That's kind of dope.
It adds a sense of urgency. Like, hey, buddy, this is it. Put your big boy pants on and finish that fight.
I like to imagine
I really
like a quiet scream in the background that gets louder and more intrusive as it gets closer. Just some guy in the background. Oh God! Just back in the stuffing out of each other.
It's the Spencer from the Bionic Commando Reloaded. Just have that play in the back. All right, so that's all the little things that I wanted to pick at. So we could get into the meat and potatoes now, I suppose, and the elephant in the room, the Echo Fighters.
What
about them?
Like, hey, thanks for telling us. You found a creative name for clone. Like, again, we talked about it in the last episode, Chris, where I just had a problem with, Falco and Roy and Dr. Mario not being labeled that. Like, I guess, characters like Wolf maybe you could ignore, but like even Toon Link, it's like, come on. You can't. Yeah, sure, they're a little bit different.
Right.
So it just got me thinking about what the requirements were for being labeled an Echo Fighter. That's gonna
be a discussion until the end of time. This game is going to come and go, and people are still going to be discussing why is this an Echo Fighter and not. There is no justification. There is no real reason. It just is.
Like Dark Pit, I kind of got because in canon he is literally a clone of Pit, and he just uses different weapons. So I'm like, all right, fine. But then Lucina and Daisy versus the aforementioned characters I brought up. So like Falco's a little different, sure. Does he do the same things as Fox? Kind of. He has a little visual flair on whatever he does. Cool. And Daisy does too.
His mechanics are altered. I don't know about Daisy's mechanics being altered, and then Lucina's I feel like should be altered, but she isn't. She's just an Echo Fighter. But don't forget, they did say that this is the ultimate, so they took the Echo Fighters that existed previously and just threw them in there. I mean,
right. Like, it doesn't bother me that they're there and we get more characters to play with. Cool. But I'm just like, it's just, I'm confused, I guess.
Okay. My understanding, and let me see if this helps you. An Echo Fighter is a character that they have that they reskinned, but then balanced something about that character. For instance, Marth and Lucina. Marth is stronger at the tip. Lucina is well balanced all around. No animation changes whatsoever. No move differences whatsoever. Just that one balance. Something like Dark Pit. He's a little bit heavier, a little bit bulkier, but all the animations are exactly the same in every single way. Falco plays just like Fox, but his animations are different. And his reflector is different. Dr. Mario has his down B. It's different. It is an actual different animation. Therefore, it is a different character. So Daisy's probably going to be maybe exactly Peach, but less launch or maybe a little faster. It's a literal cloning of the character in every way.
Yeah. It just, I think Dark Pit was the outlier for me because they did change a couple things visually about him, and then Dr. Mario was the same way. But like you said, the only difference between him and Mario is the down B move. So I'm like, it's just the fact that you have one different move separates you from being an Echo Fighter.
Yes, and I agree with it in that, like, what do you think is more effective, the spinning punch or fucking flood? That can, if you're going to be dependent on a down B, which one are you going to put your money on?
Flood.
Flood.
I am. I'm going to pick Flood.
I feel like that might have been the wrong answer, but okay.
Maybe is the wrong answer. But regardless of which one is the right answer, if you have a choice, then you have a choice in character.
Well, yeah, like, you know, when I sit here, I could value DPS with Dr. Mario's down B, but Flood just had more utility because, you know, you're off screen. Don't come near me. I'm going to squirt you, man. You can't edge hog. All
right.
I'm going to squirt you.
Totally
you're not coming.
But that's your preference, and that's why it separates the character. It's not as simple as, I mean, everyone could just be like, oh, we'll just give him a custom move, but that's not, keep in mind, custom is custom for a reason. This is default how the game is intended. So those are two different moves. The reason that young Link isn't an Echo Fighter is because they changed Link. Now he has the remote bomb, whereas young Link will probably just have old school Link's bomb.
Yeah, he's just
and won't be able to pick up
retooled
arrows.
Regular Link.
So that is the separation. Now, do you want a remote bomb? I don't really want to fucking deal with a remote bomb. I used to play Link back in Melee, and I like having a million items and being broken as shit. Well, okay, cool. Then you can just play as young Link, and you have your good old Link, because Linky Boy over here is doing some new things. Not a whole lot of new things, but it's slightly different. And that may be enough to fuck up someone who's played Link for God knows how many years.
Well, I guess, yeah, that does shed some light on some stuff. It's like elemental variations, stance changes, just that small stuff. Like, I never really thought it would be that small line would be enough to divide two different characters. But like,
it's probably
what would you think?
Limitations.
Yeah,
it might be, but I think maybe it's more along like an ease, in a programming ease. You know, instead of limitation, it's more like you know, these people have been wanting this character for a while. Let's just they're similar enough. We'll just throw them in there.
It's a production thing. That's all it is. It's gonna, if they can do, they know how long it takes to make a character and then balance said character. They've been doing it for decades. They know how long that takes. So they can take this window and be like, we can add one new character or three similar characters. Give a bigger roster.
Right.
And I support
like that. I'm fine with that too, because I never really got the whole wasting a spot on the roster thing.
That is such bullshit, and anyone who says that is completely ignorant.
It's just as big as fucking Daddy Sakurai wants it to be. So if anything, more characters the better. Like, I kind of got the argument that, it clutters up the roster and it adds unnecessary characters when you could just pull like an Olimar Alf situation or like the villagers. And like, I get that too, because if you look at the 3DS's roster, like you couldn't fit all those characters on the damn screen. Yeah. You had to hit a button to flip over to the other section with the other characters. I'm like, that's a little obnoxious. Yeah. I don't think the Switch version is going to have that problem.
I'm going to say they shouldn't have made one on the 3DS.
You're not wrong. Like, I really did enjoy Smash Bros. On the go, but and like, I'm still glad that he tried. I feel like making roster parity between it and the Wii U was a mistake because it kind of held the Wii U version back from everything it could have been.
Yep.
Ice climbers. But I'm still thankful for it, and I bet you they learned a lot. They're like, all this nonsense didn't work. So now we have pros and cons about what to do for the next game.
I don't, obviously we don't know what was going on, which is weird because usually we get some sort of hint as to the behind the scenes, but I feel like someone real high up at Nintendo was like, no, you need, the 3DS is selling real well and we're going to crank out 1 million versions of it. We need the seller and we know it's Smash Brothers. You need to make a portable one. You need to make one on the 3DS. And they're like, I don't know. This game is not meant for portable. And they're like, no, you're going to do it because I own you. And they're like, you're right. Here we go. Let's just get this over with.
You're right. I signed the contract. Like, I remember that. It was such a shit show on launch. You couldn't even hit the home button when you were playing.
Well, that's because it had a fake home menu.
Yeah, and like you couldn't go and like suspend the program to do anything else because it took all of the 3DS's like internal memory just to run.
Yeah, that honestly, it's an amazing feat in programming. If you don't know about the fake home screen Smash Brothers creates, it is one of the most fascinating programming things to actually be released and not made by like some modder.
It's a lie.
It's all fake. There wasn't even a Smash on 3DS. You just thought there was. How fucking crazy is that?
What is Smash Brothers? There's no such thing. We've been playing.
What? It's some kid
PlayStation All Stars this whole damn time.
Oh no! God. Is that why I'm so bored?
It might be.
Who the fuck is Spike for the last time?
Spike from Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, exactly.
That guy. Yeah.
That's where that guy's from.
Like, Chris or Rory, did you guys have anything to add to this banter about Echo Fighters?
I don't think it's a bad thing.
That's him putting his microphone down because he's so disappointed in your answer.
It sounds like he met a lady.
It sounds like something went on in the background. But yeah, no, Echo Fighters, I don't understand why people are getting super riled up about it. Like, yeah, okay, clone characters have existed since friggin' Street Fighter 1. What is Ken? Oh, that's just Ryu with blonde hair and a red gi. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's the difference? No, there's no difference. It's just, hey, you know what? We need a player 2. Player 2 should be just like player 1. And then it evolved.
I suppose that's true in that sense that they needed a second player, but not so much with these Echo Fighters where it was clear that, okay, we made a character, they're cosmetically different, and then their moves are aesthetically different, like they're slightly visually different, and they are ultimately the same moves. But I also agree that people saying that it's a wasted slot is just wasting their breath.
No, it's definitely not a wasted slot. I mean, even in my Street Fighter comparison, Ken eventually became different from Ryu. He's got the way better friggin' Shoryuken. He's got the Shoryu Reppa, which, adds the flame and shit. Just like Ryu's got a better Hadouken. It's like, the difference between Lucina and Marth. There's a small difference. It's already been stated. But
they play so similarly that they call them echoes.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm actually a little surprised that they didn't throw more Echo characters in there, with all this demand for certain characters that everybody wants. Every time a Smash game comes out, everybody talks about certain characters they want.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that's what I was thinking the Echo Fighters were like boiled down to, or what they were essentially for, is that everybody's asking for characters from franchises where they could play similarly. And you're right with the Street Fighter thing, Chris, because Ryu and Ken are essentially the same, except they started from scratch together and they've built themselves up after all these years. So now Ken has his own backstory and he's completely different from Ryu in a bunch of different ways, but they still play the same. Smash Brothers, all that history has already been established, so it's like, oh, these people fucking like Daisy, great. Peach and Daisy, they look the same, they can play the same, it's easy. We'll throw people Daisy because we care. Like, there you go.
Yeah.
So, like, the only con to that is, you know, people might want Daisy to be even more different from Peach, and I'm just like, can't you just, you know, appreciate what they're doing?
Seriously. Do you think Daisy needs to be in fucking Smash Brothers? No.
No.
I'm sorry. She doesn't need to be. As someone who fully supports her being there, she absolutely does not need to be there. Just be fucking happy she showed up to the damn party.
Yeah,
she has better
for real.
shit to do. I'm sorry. The only reason she's not there, she has way better shit to do.
Wasn't she like a palette swap for Peach before?
Probably.
She was. Yeah, she had Peach had a coloration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Melee.
In
I think she had it in Brawl, too.
Yeah, she had it in all of them.
So now they're just like, we're doing the thing that you wanted us to do with Lucina, where, you know, you pick Marth and there's a skin that makes him look like Lucina, except we're making that a character.
Yeah.
And for some reason that just rubs people the wrong way, but I'm like, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Surprised they did with Lucina instead of Chrom like everybody asked.
Well, yeah, like, I still fucking hate the fact that Lucina and Dark Pit and Corrin are there, just because I don't like them as characters. I would have much rather preferred Chrom. But here, there's a good exercise. I was digging around some stuff, some information about Echo Fighters that I could bring to the podcast today, and I noticed that when they were playing with Sonic during the tournament, when he charges his spin dash, it turns yellow. So, you know, we're used to seeing streaks of blue go by when Sonic's running real fast, but this time it was yellow, and people were quick to point out that Shadow was replaced by Knuckles as an assist. So everybody's speculating that one of the things Sakurai was alluding to about things that were wrong was the fact that Sonic's trail was yellow, and maybe that was a mistake, and Shadow might be an Echo Fighter.
I missed on that, so that's news to me. I missed on that, so
I've heard a lot about Shadow stuff, but I want to let someone else go if they have anything.
Well, it's just I don't know how I would feel about that. Honestly, I don't. I guess Shadow is really as popular as people say. I personally hate the guy.
Yep.
I've never liked him.
I like him.
Huh? But I just. I don't know. Give me if you chime in on the Shadow thing, but let's brainstorm. Let's take the roster right now. What would you guys do for an Echo Fighter?
Here's the thing. It is I'm gonna say this 8 million times. Forgive me if it gets old, but Nintendo Museum. The fact that Sonic is there is a big deal because oh fuck, Sonic is in this Nintendo Museum as a rival to Nintendo. Having Shadow be in there is completely unnecessary, and not like Daisy unnecessary. It's you actually do not belong here.
Okay, well, on that same breath, you could say, why is Snake here? He's not Nintendo.
Snake is there because fucking Kojima's his friend. Like, it's one thing to have a guest character, but you shouldn't have multiple guest characters from a franchise. It takes away, firstly, from having the guest character. Because now there's not that big representation. Now it's like, oh man, you got 2. Why not 3? Why not 4? And then all of a sudden it's Sega versus Nintendo, the game.
Okay, no, I see what you're saying.
It's important to maintain the guest character status. You're not just one of the guys from Sonic.
It's Tails.
Yeah. Secondly, I'm going to disagree that Knuckles replaced Shadow. He may also just be an assist trophy. And we just haven't seen Shadow yet.
You think that that same line of thinking that you just brought to the table would apply to assists then? Why should Sonic get more than one assist?
I don't, because assist trophies are less prevalent. They are kind of an anything goes. When you put Pong as an assist trophy, I feel like you've thrown all representation out of the window.
So what you're telling me is, like, I shouldn't have to put up my flame shield when I say Shrek and Goku and SpongeBob should be assists.
Flame shield.
I know what you're doing. I'm
Am I
aware
baiting
because
you?
I have visited the internet once or twice. I think I've gone about 4 times now, buddy.
Oh, you've been to the deepest parts then. 4 times. That's when you know.
I know, right?
Those assist trophies should probably stay in the realm of what franchises have already been delved into instead of something new like surprise Nickelodeon. It's like that doesn't need to be there.
I want to say they have to be within the realm of a video game that had an origin as a video game.
Well, I just think it would be fair if the assists were to also follow the same quote-unquote rules as the fighters. Just, I don't know. It would feel better aesthetically, I guess. I don't know. Because, again, you don't want fucking Nickelodeon popping up in this Nintendo fighting game. You're right, Rory.
So,
and then, like, Bayonetta got...
Let the
Bayonetta got a...
be
go ahead,
that
sorry.
they have to stay with the same franchises. So, sure, have as many Sonic assists as you'd like. Let them have Knuckles, Tails, Shadow, Rouge the Bat, Big the Cat for all I care.
Oh, God. Please, no.
How about Eggman just shows up and he attempts to do something, fails miserably, blows up, and causes damage? I don't know. But
That would be hilarious.
it's not going to be something that just comes out of the blue, like Shrek coming in and getting mad at Donkey for being in his swamp. Like it's not a franchise that's been established in this game already. That would just make it strange.
Well, what I meant by that was, I guess when it just strictly comes to the guest fighters, you get one and you're done. Like, Sonic gets Knuckles, Bayonetta got Rodon, Snake gets Gray Fox, Pac-Man gets Ghosts.
Oh, I
There
see.
you
You
go.
mean like
It's
one
like
assist?
the most iconic characters from that franchise are represented in that one assist and that X number of characters. It's like, why would you need to just throw more in there?
All right, well,
Like, then...
I get it.
by that logic, though, there's a million different Fire Emblem characters. Why is Lyn an assist? Why is she in there? It seems kind
why
of
is
pointless
It's
to
a
have
Nintendo.
her
Why
in
is
there.
Lyn the only assist? Why is it? Why didn't we? Are there any other better characters than Lyn? No.
Some
there are.
people would argue otherwise, but I would agree.
They're also
You're right.
wrong, but
Ella
that's
Wood's
okay.
X.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. Like, you're talking about representation of a game. When Fire Emblem dominates, like, I'm going to say generously, a fourth of the roster, I feel like you don't really need an assist. Whereas Sonic is one character. And it's okay, cool. Yeah, you got Knuckles. That's fun. But what about other people that like Sonic? Maybe they want like a Tails assist or, Robotnik coming in and like getting fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, you got all those Fire Emblem guys, and now you have all those Zelda guys, like the Legend of Zelda guys. Maybe throw some other.
You literally
some
have
others.
that guy Zelda 3 times now. You could have them all at the same time.
But
Exactly.
I want to play devil's advocate a little bit to your defense, and then play devil's advocate to a different part of the conversation.
Okay.
To yours, Fire Emblem and The Legend of Zelda are Nintendo franchises. This is a Nintendo game celebrating Nintendo.
Right.
Sonic
the
is
main
not.
defense.
Snake is not. That's why you can have a million whatevers from Fire Emblem and one Sonic. As far as the assist trophy thing goes, I do agree that you can pull multiple things. That would not be offensive because assist trophies are expected to be out of nowhere. But if we want to go to the other extreme, like we've done characters, we've done assist trophies, how many trophies are there? If it's created in the game, it's gonna be a trophy, for Christ's sakes.
That's
Do
true.
you think it should be like Sonic gets the Sonic trophy and the Shadow trophy, or the Sonic trophy and the Knuckles trophy, and then that's it? Like
Well,
Tails
did
and
they
Knuckles,
actually have Tails trophy?
yeah, they had all those trophies. So do you think that should be minimized as well?
Yeah, that is true. Like, every franchise was represented a shit ton when it came to just trophies. But I don't think you had to put in a lot of work when it came to trophies. It was just a matter of rigging a model, placing it on a stand, and writing a description.
It's true, but those models had to exist.
This is true.
And in
So
some cases,
I guess
Sonic,
it's-
like Tails and Knuckles, they at least had paths and running animations.
I think we kind of talked ourselves into a circle with the assists here.
I'm just gonna say
not-
trophies, good. If it's a type of trophy, go fucking nuts. But main roster, that's a lot of effort.
Yeah. So like we shouldn't expect to see fucking Big the Cat on the playable roster because
I hope not.
that's
And I think
hate
Shadow
that
is
in the
unnecessary.
game.
Echo Fighters may not take as much time as a normal character, but they still do take time, and that time could be
Right.
spent on a Nintendo character. Not to be a Nintendo elitist. That's not what I'm doing,
Right.
but it is a Nintendo history
Well,
game.
it could be more time spent on a character that has a bigger name or like a bigger draw.
Yeah.
Like I get Shadow's like I said, I guess he's really popular.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I don't like him. I ignore him. But the Chillins like him. Rory likes him.
Yeah.
I think Chris likes him.
Yeah, Shadow's
So-
all right.
I'm
So you
all
guys
down
wouldn't
for
mind
them
if he were
groupie
there.
types.
I'll say this. If they put him in there and he says, "Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald?" he's welcome in the roster. Like, we need more sweary characters in this game, and I'll be like, "All right, dude, you
'cause
can
he's
come."
so edgy.
And like his taunt where he like in Wii U and Brawl, when you used him, he turned around and he did the arm pump and then he disappeared. But in this game, if he's an Echo Fighter and that's his taunt, they can make it even better where he turns his back to the camera, gives you a side profile, and takes out a fucking gun and points it at the floor. And I'll be like, "All right, you can see." And then
Yeah.
Snake would look over and
I
get
forgot
really
about
fucking
that.
pissed because Snake can't use his guns and Bayonetta can, and now this Headshot can. He's like, "Where the fuck are my guns, Otacon?" Before I forget, go ahead, give me an Echo Fighter you guys would like to see.
Everybody I want is kind of there.
No one. Like you take the existing rosters. No one you want to give a fresh coat of paint.
I
Give him
haven't thought that far ahead.
I haven't thought that far ahead.
You mean you wouldn't want to replace or make an Echo Fighter out of Ness for Sans Undertale?
No.
No.
I've already lived that nightmare and I don't need it. Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome. I do what I can.
Do you?
But all right, so yes, I do. I believe it or not, I do. It just doesn't look like it sometimes.
He
So
murdered
all right,
me with
Rory.
someone as nice as Baymax. He made a Baymax and I got murdered by that too.
Because Corrin sucks and Baymax does not. I went out of my way to make sure he did the least amount of damage possible. I even gave him items that nerfed his attack. But all right, I'm derailing. I'll skip over you for now, Rory. Go ahead, think about it. Go and we'll move over to Chris. Go ahead.
Oh man. Echo Fighters. I don't know, man. I feel like the roster is fairly well like expanded. I don't really think there's much they could have done to add more. But I guess if we were gonna get like nitpicky here,
Don't hurt yourself.
it's good. I need to think about this. Why not add?
Does this Echo Fighter have to be Nintendo specific
No,
or someone similar to an existing character?
Just someone
Let's-
similar.
that's an Echo Fighter. Well, we could get creative with it.
Okay, in that case, I'll make a guest Echo Fighter off of Ike, and
Okay.
it'll be Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear.
That'd be all right. I could
That's
get in
a
on
choice. I'm okay with that.
And he can swear.
that. And he can swear.
And say girlfriend.
Every single character in the game has a down taunt where they say, "Where's that damn fourth chaos?"
And then we found the most spammed video on the internet.
My stream is just 10 hours of where's that damn fourth chaos.
I'm gonna say completely unnecessary. I would be okay with them, but completely unnecessary. I would say Dry Bowser would be awesome,
Okay.
Okay.
and Funky Kong. Just because I'd like a little more Donkey Kong representation, and if we're doing Echo and not Dixie Kong, then Funky Kong as a swap for Donkey Kong. Maybe he could have a better Donkey Punch that doesn't wind up 11 times.
Without
You
a
could see
doubt,
what
I
this-
can imagine Dry Bowser being a palette swap, whereas Funky Kong I can actually see as an Echo Fighter.
Yeah,
I want him to hit you with his surfboard.
That would be fucking funny.
that would be fantastic. But if we are breaking all the rules that I just tried to establish, the obvious of like Proto Man and Ms. Pac-Man would be wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
it's a good point.
Yeah, give me a safe one and a broken rules one. I like that. I want Proto Man.
Proto Man.
Wait, I want to change my answer.
Well, okay, you've got Soul Bad Guy. Who's the other one? Who's the safe one?
Base
Base.
from Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Base is pretty good.
I heard someone fucking offensively say that they should do an Echo Fighter for Duck Hunt as Banjo-Kazooie.
And
that
pissed.
actually hurt me.
Do not.
That's not surprising. I mean, you look at what it is now, and you can't help but make the comparison.
I mean, yes, as a great joke, but could you fucking imagine if they finally put Banjo-Kazooie in and it was just fucking Duck Hunt?
I would be
That
livid.
That would be
infuriating.
What if
That
they
would
got
be
rid
funny.
of Duck Hunt and they turned it into Banjo-Kazooie and Duck Hunt became an Echo Fighter of that?
The other way around.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're
They're like, hey, can we just retcon this Duck Hunt and make it more like something else?
Banjo-Kazooie? Yeah, I would take it in that instance because I fucking want Banjo-Kazooie more than anybody. I voted for him and her like 8 different times on the Smash ballot.
Yeah. I
wow.
think the best addition to this game would be Banjo-Kazooie. And are we not doing that? I'm sure we're going to do that.
We're going to do that later.
Yeah, let's not do that now. I have done a show before. I know you don't want to blow your load right at the middle.
It's a good point.
Where's the sock?
I think I know what you're talking about.
All right.
Sex.
I've read the notes too.
I've read the notes.
I didn't.
I'm trying really hard to not talk
I
about
sent them to
certain
you,
characters.
damn
Oh
it.
yeah,
Because it-
listen, you can send me anything. That doesn't. I did a show that was all about being random.
Yeah, that's true.
What is
Oh
this?
God.
I'm
That must have been a
reading the
nightmare.
notes. I see a character that
Everyone
I want to
came up.
talk about that Matt really doesn't, but it's in the notes and we're gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So I'm trying to avoid that segue until a better time.
I'm trying not to blow my load on that character right now either. So let me put the Echo Fighter thing to bed then, so we can move
Well,
on.
what about Chris? We still need his answer.
Yeah, you
He's-
do.
Chris.
Fucking give me some Golden Sun, dude. Give me some
Yes.
Oh, damn.
in there.
Who would
Yes.
he echo?
There's
Yeah,
plenty
who's-
of sword fighters. As much as you hate him or her, depending on your preference, you could echo Corrin and change some of the attacks around to be elemental instead of turning into like a fucking dragon.
Yes. See, the difference is I would totally play Isaac. Absolutely.
The Binding of Isaac.
Yep, that
Not
one.
bad, Isaac.
That Good.
And for a fucking super off the wall goofy one, I don't know. Give me give
I
me
can't help but think of all those modded Smash games where they did that for you. They just
Right.
changed the palettes.
I've already done all this,
that's
so
all terrible. I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't have nothing on that. Just fucking give me some Golden Sun. That's all I want.
I would. I still really want Isaac. Bring
Give
it
me-
the fuck on.
Give me Maya. Give me Maya or Mia.
I think-
However you say your
I
name.
think you could. I think if you landed a charge attack, left, right, up, or down, gives you one Jin charge for that element. You get enough Jin charges, and you can summon stuff. I don't know.
Oh, what? No, that's a good idea.
For
You were onto
Robin.
something, Chris. Make Mia an Echo Fighter, a Palutena,
Yeah, there you go. Fuck yeah, there. Perfect.
because she's
Can we
got a
just
staff
get rid
too.
of Palutena because she's awful and I hate her?
That's fair.
No, but she's critical to the lore, Rory.
And
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Oh, one more. Echo Fighter of Ryu into Dan, and give him the same stats as Jigglypuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be
Dan-
funny as hell.
Dan goes to sleep. Can Dan be the Echo Fighter for Jigglypuff?
Yeah, exactly. Right, sorry. Let's just do that. But the model wraps around the Jigglypuff wireframe.
yeah, he rolls around and stuff. He's it's possible.
What does he have? The
Downtown.
Gadoken?
Down taunt is where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald. The left taunt is kill me, please.
No. You wanna do it right. You turn all of his taunts into attacks like Luigi's, because one of his supers in Street Fighter 4 is the Ultra Taunt.
Where you actually just do like 5 taunts in a row that does nothing.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I've never
serious.
seen that.
taunts that take up like most of the fighting arena.
It's great. It's the funniest damn thing in the world.
And
I love it.
We have a buddy, Chris and I, and you know Matt, Johnny B. He loves playing as Dan, and he's so good that he can do these huge combos, and then he can combo a taunt into it that continues his combo. He has to do the taunt to continue the combo. So I can imagine seeing that in like Smash Bros, where his taunts become an effective weapon.
Johnny B would play this Dan, and he would jump up and down in his seat, screaming about Jesus and the shield rod while he's doing it. Oh, I would pay for that.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
I would pay to see that.
That would be great, actually.
Oh,
that would make me uncomfortable.
All right, so I want to move on from these guys, so I'll throw my 2 cents out there. Just because I can't think of a better character that would fit him better, take the Gunner Mii fighter and let Quote from Cave Story be an Echo fighter of that.
Ooh.
And as for my completely balls to the wall one, I couldn't really think of a balls to the walls one. I just thought of another safe one. I was all about the.
You couldn't think of one?
I couldn't. I'm tapped out, man.
But I got another one. After you, though. I'll let you finish.
I was just gonna say I'm loving the whole Metroid train that they're all on right now, with Ridley coming in and adding another rep. So I'm just like, just throw in Dark Samus.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. That honestly makes the most sense of everything.
But that sounds like a legit Echo fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. And I want Lloyd Irving in there somewhere. And I know even though he's got tons of moveset potential, I feel like they would make him an Echo fighter. I just don't know out of what character, because he's, the dual swords, and I don't want to see that Mii fighter garbage again. So I'm not sure. So yeah, go ahead, give me yours.
All right, one last one.
Yeah, one last one.
I thought of one. Hold on.
All right, 2 more, and then we're gonna take a break.
Yeah.
Give me Leon from Resident Evil, and have him be a Echo of Solid Snake.
Pichu.
Yeah,
Bayonetta.
Stop the snake, obviously. I'm down.
That would be great. That would be the best ever.
I'm down.
I can see it happening.
Make him an Echo of Bayonetta.
So Smash 4 had one of the most random trophies that had everybody talking when they put in for indie rep Commander Video, make him an Echo for Game & Watch.
I've never played a runner game. Does he have anything that he does other than run?
He slides, and there's
He
like
runs with
music,
Rainbow
so you could kind of do a music note thing. And it's easy
Interesting.
representation to this like big hug.
This would be a tough stretch since Mr. Game & Watch is very
Unique.
Mr. Canando is a lot more fluid than Mr. Game & Watch.
He is, but in his pixel form, he's not.
I guess.
If it was the straight pixel 2D Commander Video, you'd be all set.
I want to be the guy over Game & Watch.
I want to be the Boshi, whatever the fuck it is.
The way I want to be the guy operates, he would clearly be a Echo Fighter of Mega Man.
All his taunts would KO him.
All his taunts self-kill.
Yeah.
Splash of red blood, just a restart. It's like, what?
His final smash is just a giant apple.
Yeah, he just dies instantly as soon as a character hits him. He can't actually touch anybody.
Chris got it. You fucking taunt and you die, and then that music plays. Oh my god, fuck this. We're going to break.
Time for a short, angry break.
Hey there, this is Cherry 2 Cosplay, and you're listening to the Otaku Podcast.
Get the fuck out! There are too many memes. He'll die here.
Kobe! I'm just glad the birds are behaving right now. They usually come up to my window and just start bashing their head against it and screaming at me. I don't know why. It's like, it's 7 o'clock, wake up! So
Don't you know how we do things down here?
These birds are psychotic. Like, no shit. They attack me when I run outside because it's their mating season right now, but they like swoop down and attack people.
They sound super friendly.
They're not domesticated like our pigeons.
I see people running around, like going for jogs with like a tennis racket. I just want to see one person just get thwacked. It would make my day.
Just grab a bird out of midair by the legs and just smack someone with it. Segment 2.
Segment 2.
Noid as an Echo Fighter for Link.
I was gonna bring up the fact that I couldn't get you out of my head, Alex, when they were doing a GDQ speedruns of Yonoid 2.
So I still haven't played it.
I didn't even know it existed.
Oh, well, yeah, it's fan made.
Oh.
So
Well, still, I'm happy it's around. Damn it, now I want to talk about Yonoid. Stop.
some other time.
Yeah, like
Look, we'll play Yonoid on the Switch.
That guy, that real life guy who said the Noid was him and they were making fun of him and he shot up a domino. It's like, oh man.
The moral of the story is he won.
He got rid of all the pizza.
He got rid of Yonoid. He won. All right? As fucking insane as that all is, fucker won.
He did it. He got rid of his personal demons. Just like we're about to right now, because we're going to argue about whether or not this game, this new Smash Brothers, is a port. So let's exercise some demons here, mates. I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna start by saying yes, it is a new game because it's built on an entirely new engine that looks similar to ones we've had before. And each time we've gotten a new Smash Brothers game, that has been the case. Yes, this is a new game.
Do you remember when we were talking about being ignorant earlier? And I forget the context already.
Uh-huh.
But it was like, if you have that problem, then you're ignorant. Oh, the clone character. Yeah. If anyone in the world thinks this is a port, you make the ignorant guy look like a fucking genius.
It's true. Like, even watching that game get played, it looks like it feels entirely different.
I cannot believe anyone ever had the argument that it was a fucking port. I actually can't fucking believe it.
And this is the heard that either.
You haven't heard that?
What?
No. I haven't
seriously?
even heard
Damn,
that people
dude.
are saying it's just a port.
Oh my god, it's all
it's-
over the goddamn place.
You can't escape it. Like any like cursory search results for the game, or like even on just like forums or whatever, everybody's fighting about it, and I'm like, how? Is it just because they have more or less the same characters as the last game? Is that why you think it's a port?
Have you ever seen any fighting game where they bring back characters?
It's a port.
It's a port, automatically a port.
Street Fighter V. Oh, it's Ryu port.
Totally a port. I played port.
So wouldn't that mean that every Smash game after N64 has been a port?
It's
Yes.
been a port. Yeah,
With-
it's a port.
If you took that
Oh?
stance in the
Okay.
argument, yes.
Well, No, if it was a port, that would mean that nothing has changed.
Nah, it's a port.
You see how frustrating it is?
Here's the way I look at it. All right. Is it a port? Possibly. But here's the thing. Street Fighter 2, right? Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers, Street Fighter 2 this, Street Fighter 2 that. Those are ports. They've added new things for sure, but it's still based off of and is a continuation of Street Fighter 2. Smash Brothers Ultimate, is it a port? Maybe. Possibly. I would say more than likely it is, if only because
Chris,
it is a continuation of Smash Brothers 4. In the sense that it has a lot of the same characters, a lot of the same stages, a lot of the same physics. Just because the engine is different doesn't mean it's a new game.
but the engine changes the physics completely, Chris.
No, it doesn't.
Is GTA 5 a port of GTA 4?
No.
Why? It's built on the same engine with this. They just altered the physics and changed the characters and then added some animations and some city.
Then they changed the entire plot and gameplay.
Exactly. You're not playing Nico Palazzi or whatever the fuck his name is. You're playing 3 new characters.
Oh, they changed a different character. Okay. Well, they added 3 more characters to Smash Brothers.
Okay. They added 3 new characters to Street Fighter 2, the new challengers, but it's still Street Fighter 2.
But
that's an expansion.
But when it comes to Street Fighter,
it is a port, though. They ported all the old stuff into a new cartridge and added a few new things.
But a port is when you take something over to a new console.
No. You can port anything to anything. You can port Smash 64 to Smash 64 and add a couple new characters. It's still Smash 64.
You can port Skyrim to Tamagotchi screens. It's still a port.
That is a port.
Skyrim to Alexa
hardware.
Now you're getting into like semantics.
Well, this is literally a semantical argument.
I suppose.
It is.
But what I'm saying is just because there's a couple new characters and the physics might be changed a smidge doesn't really make it a new game. It's still Smash 4.
But all the things we've been talking about up until this point have been different.
Have
all these little things that we've been talking about. The addition of slow-mo, alteration and damage for one-on-one, the HUD display changes. These are all things that are changing the mechanics of the game.
No, those are flourishes. In programming speak, adding slowdown to somebody's little smash attack is not changing the physics of the game. That's adding a small cinematic flair to something that's already existing in the code.
Air dodging, perfect shields.
Okay, all that is new. Those are all new programming things. But yeah, air dodging already existed. Dodging
not with movement.
You're right, and it was easy to add in a little bit extra to the programming that already exists.
You could already air dodge into a direction. You just couldn't slide into the ground with it until Melee.
Sorry,
it also wasn't as noticeable.
My phone was just like, "Hey, champ, I'm dying." I'm like, "How? You're at 60%." So I missed most of this part of the argument. But
we're talking programming and the little flourishes and things.
When it comes to the programming, you know that this game is working on Unreal Engine now, right?
Yeah.
It is brand new. They've never had this kind of convergence before with Smash Brothers. I guess it was built on a proprietary engine or some other garbage before, but they had to go and recreate Smash Brothers from the ground up in this new engine so they could get it to work.
You would be surprised, actually, to just how easy it is to transfer code from one thing to another.
Well,
but every single sequel is always built off of elements that have already existed.
Except for the fact that with each new hardware iteration, you have to change certain things to fit the hardware.
So it's not a port.
That's why Street Fighter 3 or Street Fighter 2 is different in terms of Street Fighter 5. Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5, different games. You can claim they're ports, but they're not.
But what makes them
different? Are you one of those people that believe that this new Smash Bros. Game is a port?
No, I think it's an entirely new game. Just from watching what I had seen, like, I don't know. I don't really know how else to explain it other than my body felt like it played differently.
But you don't know that because you haven't played it.
Well,
you can assume
this is true.
everything
But
you want, but
they're also hammering home all of these new ways to play and all these new little things and changes that they're making to make to streamline the game better so it's more accessible to veterans and newcomers. So I'm like, all of this stuff, this new engine, these new characters, all of these new facets of battle, it's new.
There are also all these pros that are going online saying that they played it for 9 hours plus, saying that there is no way it is a port.
Because if it were a port, it would feel like the same game. It would be Wii U. It would have been a port of the Wii U game, so nothing would have changed. I don't know if they would have just reused that same engine and just built off of
the line between a new game in this franchise and a port the line exists, but with Smash Bros, based off of what it is, if you took all the extra modes out, the subspace assembly, you took out the adventure modes and all that, it would feel very port-ish. However, it would simply just be an upgrade. Just like most other fighting games, they're all essentially the same mechanics. They can't deviate too far. I mean, damn, just look at Madden. Come on, you want to talk about a game being so similar that might as well be considered a port?
Right.
At any sports game, but with these Smash games, especially with whatever new modes they come out with, you'll have to wait till you see what new modes there are.
Yeah, again, if it were a port, it would have just been the same game. But the problem with Smash
Bros. It would have been
is
Smash Bros. On the 3DS.
Yeah, Smash Bros. Is always the same game.
Isn't the 3DS? The 3DS one to me felt like a port.
But that literally was a port. They were working on it at the same time.
That's what I'm saying. So
then polished it.
Well,
Why not? Wii U.
Sakurai had said when it came to the 3DS and the Wii U versions, he was developing them both at the same time, where he considers them to be different in the fact that the 3DS game is Smash Bros. 4 and the Wii U game is Smash Bros. 5. They just have roster parity, so they're not. He built them both at the same time, so they're not ports of anything. They are just the same game. It's just one's in your hand. That was what he had in mind. He could have rebooted the entire series with a third of the cast, or he could have continued with the same serialized path that he was on, like he did with Brawl.
He went to marketing speak, calling those two different games, but they aren't. They went into production at the same time, coinciding with each other.
Right. They are essentially the same game. He says he made the game. I can't argue with him. He made them. He's like, these are two completely different games, but they were made at the same time. They are the same game. So it's confusing enough already.
I wish that they just took one character out. They said everyone but Bowser is in, because no one would say it was a port. Because then they'd be like, oh, they don't have the same roster. The fact that they brought everything back is why everyone's saying it's a port. If they didn't take the effort and time to bring back as much as possible, this wouldn't be a question.
No,
everyone sees the same things that was in the past game and just says, oh, they just added a couple things.
No, that lends it to being a sequel, because you have to take all of those characters from Melee and Brawl that we haven't seen in 10 years.
Yeah.
And we have to rip them out of that engine and recreate them.
That's not how people are seeing it. They're seeing the things that they saw in the last game with more and going, oh, it's just a port. Oh, there's 84 plus stages? Nah, it's a port. They already had 50 stages in the last one. They just added a meager 30.
Yeah. Not only do we have to take fucking Young Link and Pichu and Forside from Earthbound, and we have to take them out of their native GameCube file type, and we have to throw them and rework them into Unreal and make them completely new again, even though they're the same character. You've seen them before, but this time they function completely differently, than the last time you've played with them. They just look like they haven't. Like I don't know how else to explain it. It's just all those new changes, all the new things, having to rework everything to get it to work here. Like, you don't do that with a port. You take your port and you're like, hey, buddy, Resident Evil 4. Hey, you're on the GameCube. Bam, now you're on the PlayStation 2. We're just going to change the prompts, so instead of it saying A button, it says triangle or X.
There's a major
they're not
difference.
changing anything, really. They're just changing the cosmetics to fit the system because... Fuck! It's a PlayStation, not a GameCube.
The easiest argument for this, like, even if you're gonna go bare bones stupid, if they were to port over a game, they would use a lot like basic assets. Rule number 1 when you're porting something over: take the graphics you already have. No reason to fucking deal with them. Scrub them up a little, maybe up the texture, but don't change them. Every character has a new render.
Right. Well, that's why
that's the structure of like, oh, this might be new just at a glance, because they wouldn't bother to re-render every single character render if they were just going to port it over.
Right, because at that point you'd consider it a remaster, like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. That would be a waste of production time, and it certainly wouldn't take 4 years to port something.
Well, it's like Crash Bandicoot. I don't even know if you could consider that a port. Because they did say that they remade the entire game. It just looks the same as the old one.
Yeah.
Even though they're calling it a remaster.
Well, remasters are a whole other beast because it's kind of elements of everything. But remasters are usually built from the ground up anyway. The code is so old that most of the time it has to get rewritten anyway. And they have to go and fine tune it so it feels like the old game. That's why so many remasters end up feeling weird.
Yeah, like Kingdom Hearts, where they lost the source code before they were porting it to PS3 or whatever.
Half the time, that's why purists exist with remasters. Because, yes, the remaster is quote-unquote better because it's modernized and it looks nicer, but there's the feeling that might not be the same. It's usually because it's a new game that they spent a lot of time to try to make it seem like they didn't spend a lot of time to make it seem like the old one.
Right. Has any of this sunk in with you, Chris, Rory? Anything? What are you thinking?
If you want me to be totally honest, I don't feel like this is an argument worth having.
No, I wanted to have it
like 20 seconds long.
Tis a silly debate.
It is. It is a silly debate
over something that hasn't come out yet.
We're gonna play it when it comes out, and we're gonna have fucking fun, and we're gonna forget. I agree, it's a silly argument, but that's why I wanted to bring it up, because it is a silly argument. Everybody's having it.
Like I said, I haven't heard it yet.
Chris,
I don't know, man. Like, you can go back and forth on this all day, literally all day. But when it comes down to it, we're getting another Smash game. So why does it really matter? If it's a port, great. If it's a new game, also great. Who cares?
Right. We're gonna get it. We're gonna have fun. Like, I'm pretty sure we just threw in the towel at this point, but I don't know.
It's just literally the only reason why it matters is because it's frustrating to have a discussion about like, oh my god, the new Smash Brothers, oh, it's so much fun. Look, they brought everyone back. Yeah, but shame it's just a port. Like, don't be a fucking wet blanket. Can you just enjoy this? I fell into the hole of like watching reaction videos. And I'd say they were like 50-50. Like everyone being like, oh my god, this is amazing. Everyone come back. Oh, it's just a port though. And then like the energy just died for the remainder of the video.
So then the only course of action is when it comes out, all four of us have to reconvene and just start saying, oh man, this new game. Oh man, this new game.
No, it's going to be a port. Stupid.
Well, you guys having so much fun with that port. Here's another a hot question I wanted to ask. It was revealed to us in the trailer that the initial roster is probably going to be the Nintendo 64 cast exclusively. So everybody's going to start with those 12 characters. The rest are unlockable. And I'm like, awesome. It reminds me of the good old days. But there are a lot of people who are going online talking about how they don't want to sit there and do the grind, and they would rather see it take a killer instinct route, or like a games as a service where you would have characters to try, and you could choose to go and unlock them. Or like, I even saw some people saying, why couldn't we just buy some? And I'm like, this is not the world I should be living in right now. I want to get off this planet. But like, what do you think? Like, yeah, I get that the grind would be ridiculous. I don't really want to sit there and try to grind for 54 characters to unlock. But I also played Xenoblade, and that game's grindy as shit. So I'm probably gonna have fun anyway. But what would you think? I want to start with Chris, because I know Chris spent a lot of time with Killer Instinct. We all know how that game started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to see Smash do something like that?
That's not what Smash is, though. Smash isn't, hey, here's a game. Here's your like initial 8 characters. Every week you get to try somebody new. That's not what Smash is about. Smash is like, hey, here's everybody you know and love. Have fun unlocking them. Play whatever it is you want to play, whether it's online, offline, the adventure mode, whatever it is they got cooked up. Multi-man Smash, and maybe you get somebody new.
Right.
Like that's how it should be. That's just how it should be. Like that's what Smash is. That's its unique flavor of fighting.
It's like a reward.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're not as bad as you thought you were. Here, now you can test your mettle against this new character you've never seen before. And if you win,
it's not like those characters are hard to get anyway. Like if you play through like the arcade mode as Mario and you get the chance to unlock Luigi, it's not like he's gonna grind your face into the dirt every time. You know what I mean? Like you tap them. It's like you tap them once and they basically fall over and die, and you get the character. So what's the deal? Like why are people making a big deal out of this?
It just sounds like a throwback to the to Melee. You had to unlock all the characters as you go, and it was exciting when, if you didn't look up what the challenges were to get the challenge battles to unlock the character, it was cool to be playing the game and all of a sudden a challenger appears and it's like, oh snap. Like it's a sense of accomplishment, and they never, like you said, it was never that hard. The hardest part might be trying to either figure out how to do it or just get to that point, but the battles themselves weren't hard. Can you imagine how uninteresting the game would be if you had the full roster from the get-go and it's just like, yeah, you can just smash or play the story or whatever we come up with. That's cool.
Yeah, you get
really
bored
like how
real quick.
They did it with Subspace Emissary, where like you had to go through the whole thing and get the characters as you go, because it was just kind of weird. Like I feel like that was weirder than doing it the way they did it in Melee, where specific challenges like go to the cruel Melee and get 5 KOs at all, and you can do it. Oh, okay, cool. Whereas Subspace Emissary, it's like, nah, you can only get Sonic if you go all the way to the end. It's like, oh. I'm glad I played the whole game where I was forced to play certain characters until I got the character I wanted.
Right. And then like in Melee, you had the arbitrary, like I remember the hardest thing for me was having, like it seemed like a daunting task when we were kids, but playing 20 hours to unlock Mewtwo or Game & Watch or whoever it was, you're just like, gee golly, am I ever going to play this game that long? And like thinking about it now, you're glad you did because it helped you get better as a player. Or you just left your GameCube on overnight like a sack. But I feel like if we were to do that whole Killer Instinct thing, it would just suck a lot of the fun out of it. You're just like, oh, no. Or League of Legends where, hey, I tried Marth. I liked Marth. I bought Marth.
Did they say anything about how people are going to be unlocked? Is it going to be challenges, or is it going to be a progressional unlock like it was in Brawl?
Like,
which was
Alex, you would probably be able to answer this most of all. I'm pretty sure that he said in the trailer that it was just certain conditions. So we don't know yet.
"Quote unquote" streamlined the conditions. So I've kept quiet, one, because I talked a shit ton the last time. Two, I am very, very flip-floppy about this. And I don't know where to hang my hat for or against. the player one in me who like 100%ed Brawl loves it. Thinks it's amazing to unlock everybody and this is awesome. But the me who's playing Smash now, where it's just me and my buddies, they come over and we try a new character and then just fucking go in. I feel like that's going to be the beginning of Smash Brothers for me this time. Like going in, playing multiplayer and being like, oh yeah, there's only like 8 people here. All right, that's something. The thing is, even though I wasn't a fan of Melee, I did play it a lot. And like I said, I played Brawl. I remember unlocking characters. I remember that siren. I remember the silhouette. I remember like, oh shit, now's my chance. If I fuck this up, I gotta do this God knows how many times to try to do it again. But I kind of don't remember unlocking characters in Smash 4. I know I had to, but it wasn't a big moment for me. So I'm also kind of excited to maybe they've hyped it up a little bit better and it'll be more memorable to unlock characters.
Well, like sitting here with Chris and Rory playing again, like everybody as a group, just like you said, Alex, it's like, I don't know. I hope it more like in Smash 4, I think most of it was you play X number of matches and character shows up.
Yeah. Which
was cool. Because, like, if I'm in a setting where I'm playing with all of you guys and we're just having a good fucking time and we don't really care about who's unlocked or not, say fucking Chris wins a match and all of a sudden fucking Roy shows up and he's like, oh, sweet. Since I won the last match, I get to fight Roy. And I get to say, I unlocked Roy. Ha ha ha. It's my reward. Look at me. I'm so much better than you guys. And I got Roy. I don't know. I kind of like that. It's like a Mario Party thing.
Is there anybody out there who's played a Smash game and found that they were only able to play effectively with one character at all?
Wasn't that all of us in the beginning?
No, I mean, like, that's the thing. So, like, let's say we have a roster of 8 people. I'm pretty sure that anybody playing it for the first time, let's say they've never played a Smash game, and they're like, well, I might as well default to Mario. And since he's literally the medium character, all other characters are built and balanced around Mario. So they play as him. I mean, they play like 3 matches or do something. They're probably going to unlock something. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up as an unlock after one friggin' match.
That's my worry. I hope they don't diminish this to a point where literally every single thing you do unlocks potential for a character, so it has no meaning. Then it's just
the game.
Yeah, then it's just pointless. Then it's just completely trivial to even lock them. If it's going to be like, go to the option menu to unlock Mewtwo, like, I don't want shit like that.
What I think would be neat, if I would choose how to unlock these characters, was it not the event system that was in Melee? What was the event system that was in Brawl or Wii U? I think it was Wii U, where you had like a grid and you could see where you were going.
It's like the challenge, the event mode.
Like you would go in and it's like, okay, we'll fight 2 Bowsers as Mario with the NPC character Luigi to back you up, and then you could do it on normal or hard after you've beaten it. And when you beat it, it goes to like, it shows a path to a new challenge, and you could pick which one you wanted to go to, and eventually you could do them all. But I think it would be neat if you had this big grid, right? And it shows, let's say, just 5, maybe 8 characters on this grid. It's like, oh, I can see these 8 characters can be unlocked here. I wonder where my favorite character is unlocked elsewhere. But I want Ganondorf. It says he's here in the challenges, and you have to work your way to that challenges.
Honestly, that's a really cool idea.
It's like, I can see where he is, but I don't entirely know how I'm going to get him. But I know I could go that way and do these challenges. And then the final thing could be like, you could either do something hilarious, like fight a super-powered Ganondorf, like he's a bit stronger than you would be. Or if it's like, I know Kirby's not going to be an unlockable. He's probably going to be a default. Imagine it's like, you want to unlock Kirby? Well, you got to fight 200 of them, and it's like something like that.
I like that a lot. That's actually really cool because it's aesthetically pleasing, and you have a clear goal.
Yeah, and like as a player, it would help you.
I think that some of the characters should be surprises.
Yeah, totally. I mean, well,
Like,
the fact is the internet exists now. So the first thing everyone's going to do is look it up. Melee was such a big deal because you kind of didn't know what the fuck you were doing.
Yeah, everybody had to talk about it.
No,
They're like, how do you get Luigi? It's like, yeah, this is how you get Luigi. And you're like, no, that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
With the 2 second on the first stage, it's like, no, I'm serious. Like, that's it. That's all you got to do.
You also have to think about, like, there are 60 plus characters, and as of right now, 84 confirmed stages. How many of these things are going to be unlocked, and therefore, what is this process to unlock things? Like, it's going to have to be fucking insane.
Or hopefully easy. Well, not too easy, but you know what I mean.
I grew up with Mortal Kombat. Like, that's my thing. And Deadly Alliance introduced this thing called the Crypt. And the Crypt was this 26 by 26 grid of just
I remember the
unlockable.
Crypt.
And people liked it so much that they kept bringing it back. And it was cool. Every time it was slightly different, some better than others. But MKX came out and they had their own crypt. And it was kind of like this first-person adventure, right? And you run through and you get items and you solve puzzles and you're still collecting coins by fighting and playing other modes and stuff and getting like concept art or other character skins or things like that. And it was great. But modern day, you could also just spend $20 to unlock everything in the crypt. And that blew my mind in the worst way. And I kind of want to give Smash Brothers a little credit in that they have the balls to be like, no, there's hundreds of things in this game for you, and you gotta earn it.
When you say things like the Crypt and all these characters that other games had, and like, yeah, Smash is like, what, going on 70 characters. Why don't you think other fighting games share the same mentality when it comes to cuts? It's like a whole big deal, a big draw about this one is like, hey, everybody's back. Why don't we see other games adapt the whole only cut a few mentality? Like, why aren't you think it's just like a money thing?
There's a few
Development
reasons.
time.
Yeah, development time is a huge factor in it. Secondly, I hope we get some real insight and not like the PR friendly versions. But I've heard a lot of upcoming stories that Sakurai wants to tell about how hard it was to get some of the characters back. I want to say that Squaresoft probably gave him a lot of trouble.
Well, didn't he said in the trailer it was like he made the impossible possible.
Yeah. And also I think I don't want to be incorrect, but there was recently an update somewhere where he said that there would be stories coming about why it was so hard. And I really
doesn't he have a blog?
Yeah, possibly just on the blog. Or reported elsewhere, but I hope we get a real story about, because I'm sure Square was like, yeah, we gave you Cloud once, you can't have Cloud again. I'm sorry, this is not your game. Or something like, Namco, we're not developing this game now. I don't think we're comfortable with having Pac-Man back in the game. Like, I'm sure there are a lot of legal things like this, because when you have a guest character, people don't realize how much scrutiny has to go into creating a character. You can't just take an image of a character that has been approved and make the character. They will literally call them up. Like, we use this texture. Is it okay? We change this cotton texture to a mesh. Is that okay? And they have to go back and forth and have fucking meetings about textures and shadows and alternate skins and the voice of the character and how it's being fucking spelled. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, isn't that the problem they had with Sonic and Brawl, where Sega just was fed up that they didn't, like, quote, get Sonic right, so they wouldn't let Nintendo develop him, so they went and developed him himself, and it delayed the game or something?
Yeah, there was something about that. I don't know the specifics of it, but yeah, shit like that is crazy, and I can only imagine them being like, no, we did all this already. We don't have to have these meetings. These characters are done. And
Well,
they're like
it also goes back to what Rory said about dev time, and which also I would imagine correlates to money, because you need to have money to go into the dev time that you need to develop the character. Absolutely. And then the licensing thing, like you said, when it comes to Square and being like, I don't know if you can have Cloud again. I thought it was a one-time deal. Fork up.
Yeah.
Like,
Money in general. Think about it though. Even development time, all that time spent having those stupid ass meetings eats into development time for no reason.
And then you have to pay the people who are developing the game. So
Yeah.
again, money. But like Chris and Rory, like I grew up with you guys playing all kinds of different fighting games, like Guilty Gear, Mortal Kombat. I know we've like Injustice is another good one too.
Yeah.
But like you see all these characters, especially with Guilty Gear, getting like put to the wayside. Like I remember when we heard about Guilty Gear 2 coming out, and we're quote Guilty Gear 2, and they completely changed it into a brand new like a Muso game, and they got rid of like every character but 8.
They had like
why
10 new characters and like 2 returning ones, just the main 2, and it brought my piss to a boil.
Yeah, like I get that what Alex said, Smash feels like a Nintendo museum, but I don't see why other companies can't use the same mentality when it comes to their own characters. Why they can't just like treat them with the same amount of love and respect that Sakurai does with all these characters. Some of them aren't even his. Most of them aren't even his.
That actually might be easy to answer. So let's take some comparisons then. I'm going to compare Nintendo's Smash to Guilty Gear, because that's an easy comparison. So if you were to take Smash and the characters that they have, at this point Nintendo has become so friendly. Let's say friendly. We'll say that Nintendo has become so friendly with between their fans and their characters that they've created that there's really no need to branch out and create all these new characters. And if at this point Smash has been put on such a pedestal of this is the big time Nintendo stuff, that if and when Nintendo makes a new character for, I don't know, Super Nintendo Game 6 or whatever, and everybody likes the game, and they take that character and puts in the Smash, that's how you know that they're acknowledging that it's in the big time and stuff like that. So look at the Splatoon Squid characters. They're getting in the Smash, and it's like, okay, cool. So now it's becoming well-rounded into the Nintendo universe. Now we're going to look at Guilty Gear. We'll go with the main roster, and the characters are memorable, and the moves are good, and the gameplay is fun. But when they tried to make Guilty Gear 2, they were not only trying a completely different gameplay style. It was no longer a fighting game. It was like a MOBA game, really.
It was a weird RTS thing.
Yeah. But they had to keep it Guilty Gear. So the lore was kind of, okay, well, I'm not going to get into the lore of Guilty Gear because it doesn't really make any sense at all.
It doesn't.
But they had to put something in there that made it obvious. So, yeah, this is Guilty Gear. So they took the 2 main characters. It's like if they took Street Fighter and made it a MOBA game, and they just had Ryu and Ken. But then they were hoping to add new characters or do something to the lore that would make the characters relevant. They couldn't just take all the Guilty Gear characters and just throw them in there, because that might be weird. Unfortunately, they took a risk, and it failed, and it became even more weird than if they had just taken 8 characters from the main roster and made that into a MOBA game.
Well, maybe Guilty Gear 2 was a bad example. I mean like Guilty Gear Xrd. Like at the beginning, we didn't see characters like Baiken or Milia Rage or Axel. And like for Street Fighter 5, it took us a while before we even got Guile back. Like I'm all for introducing new characters into a fighting game because, you only want to work on the same ones for so long. But like they're staples. They helped you define your franchise.
So,
and a lot of people they're close to them.
Oh, but that's the thing. Almost all the characters in Smash are their own staples. These characters in one franchise of a fighting game of Street Fighter, yeah, they're staples from it. But they're really, if you think about it, a lot of them are just extra characters that came from original staples. So Ryu being a staple, Bison being a staple, Sagat being a staple, but then you got other characters coming in like Guile. These characters weren't introduced until Street Fighter 2 or 3, and once they start getting up here to like Street Fighter 5, it just comes down to which characters do people want to see and which characters do we feel need to be in this game. either affect balance or make it interesting. I think the Street Fighter franchise may be a little bit more demanding in terms of processing and development than something like Smash. But then when I think about it, you don't exactly have an 8-person Street Fighter fight going on either,
That would be awesome.
which would be disgusting and eye cancer. And I'm not sure if I'd really want to ever witness something like that.
No, I really want to see it.
Could I interject with? Oh, go ahead.
Well, yeah. Hang on. I just want to say one thing. I just don't understand why. Like, yes, you were correct. Where Nintendo, all the characters in Smash Brothers are from their own franchises, but it's just when it comes to cut characters. When I look at Street Fighter V, why did it take so long for Guile to show up? Like, everybody loves Guile. He's a huge fucking meme. And I'm all for expanding the horizons, developing new characters. We want to try something new, but I just when it comes to the mentality some companies take towards cutting characters, I'm confused. There are a lot of questions and things I would like to understand.
There are a lot of things behind the scenes that cause a lot of problems, and it's not just like the known corporations butting their heads in. But I'd like to bring up a field that I'm kind of ignorant in, but less so in the development. The tournament scene plays a huge role. All of the games that you have mentioned, all of these other fighting games, are pure fighting games. Please don't sit here for 3 hours and have this argument with me, but Smash Brothers is a fighting game in that it is also a fighting game. I would say it's a party game that is subgenred as a fighting game. There are many.
It's definitely a party game.
Yeah, party platform
aspects,
fighter.
Yes, there are many aspects of Smash, and it is more welcoming than other fighting games. Some people are very intimidated by fighting games. To the same extent, the people who are into those fighting games, like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, they learn these characters. They know everything about these characters. So when new iterations come out, even when they bring a character back, sans Ryu, they usually change them drastically. Especially something I have plenty of, like Mortal Kombat. Every time a character comes back, they play completely differently. You can play Scorpion in any game, and you have no idea what the fuck you're doing unless you practice. And it's in order to keep it fresh while still being like, oh, Scorpion's back. It's from the bare bones character design built up, new moveset, new animations. Everything is brand fucking new. In Smash Brothers, the characters tend to stay the exact same from iteration to iteration. And I do want to point out that we have MKX tournaments, we have MK9 tournaments, but people really don't play a lot before that. People are still doing tournament melee. That's still a hardcore, crazy, huge scene, because while the engine is different and the physics are different, I'm not going to argue that at all. The characters feel the same. You know what they're going to do before you learn the engine, so you have a leg up if you jump in.
So would you consider MKX's Scorpion a port of MK9's Scorpion?
Yes, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, like, Smash has the benefit of bringing characters they've already developed in, because they get to skip a few steps early on in the process. They don't have to sit there and think of, like, well, how is Fox going to kick this time? You know he's going to do his split smash. You know he's going to do his fucking high kick. Whatever. I don't play as Fox, clearly. But they already know the direction they're going to take him. Whereas most fighting games build everything literally from the ground up, pen on paper. And it's not as simple as, well, let's just bring everyone back. Because if you immediately copy and pasted everything, there would already be characters that high-level players know, and they'd get wrecked. They'd wreck newcomers online, and it wouldn't be any fun. Smash Brothers has so many elements already where, like, I don't know, if you dare turn on items, who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
Fake Smash Ball.
Yeah, fake Smash Ball. But
I would say you're about right. The only difference being is that every character has their known attacks. Like when your example is Scorpion, everybody knows if you do the right motion, you'll throw the chain. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody knows if you do the right thing, you'll throw a Hadouken for Ryu. It's the same thing with Smash Brothers. Everybody knows that if you hit, the B button as Mario, you're going to throw a little fireball. So while certain things may be different in the sense that it's essentially a new game, really all that's changing is the frame data, and that's the stuff that gets into the nitty gritty. How many frames is it going to take for me to throw this fireball? How many frames is it going to take for me to recover from throwing this fireball? And that's the stuff that, like, the real nitty gritty, like getting deep into the tech fighting game players are all about. Like with Killer Instinct, some of the inputs you have to put in have to be beyond frame perfect if you want to like do a combo breaker, and even above that if you want to do a counter breaker. So like really all that's changing is the frame data and stuff, not necessarily like character attacks.
I keep in mind this is again coming from a Mortal Kombat background. So I don't want to throw this blanket term on things. This is the scene that I'm most familiar with. These are the games I'm most familiar with. Yes, you know Scorpion's going to throw the spear, but what do you follow up the spear with? You have to know what move set, because Smash Brothers has combos, but they're fan-created combos from all that frame-perfect data. There is no true combo in Smash Brothers where you input button commands and a character does something that may be a juggle, it may be a slide, it may be some sort of pop-up. That they're just moves that if you have enough frames, or the least frames, I guess, you can jump up and continue an attack. Something like Mortal Kombat, there are button inputs. You know, punch, punch, kick, pop up, jump up to that, extend. Something like Street Fighter, you have heavy and light attacks. You have to know the string of commands in order to hit multiple times and then connect those. Smash Brothers attacks follow up.
I'm gonna give this to you guys. I don't know where this part of the conversation came from. I really don't. I was on cut characters, and you guys went in. That is some passion. And before, I'm going to segue this passion into a different question, because, I mean, obviously you guys are, when you find a character that you're passionate about, you know. And, like, through the years, you guys have, like, following Scorpion and Ryu and Mario and stuff, like, I'm just sitting here, I'm like, this isn't at all what I was talking about. At least I don't think it was, but I like it. I like this fervor you have for a character's evolution. So I want to ask you, guys, when it comes to Smash Brothers, who are your favorites? And if you could give your favorite a rival, kind of like PlayStation All-Stars, where they had, like earlier when I was talking about your team-ups with your faded character for a team smash, a team final or whatever, who would that be? Like, you guys have grown up with most of these characters, as have I. So now I'm curious. I want to talk about characters. Example, we've got, Mario and Bowser, Kirby and DDD, Samus and Ridley now, because Ridley's a thing. Like even like Little Mac and Donkey Kong. You know what I'm saying? So I want everybody's opinion on this.
I got one.
Do it.
So my boy Roy, with his rival being Fox.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Mainly because Roy is not a fast character.
No.
That's kind of the thing. He's a bit slower, lighter, but he hits like a truck if you can, hit anybody. So that's his problem. I'm not sure why I like using him so much. Maybe it's because it's really satisfying when I do finally manage to hit somebody. I mean, you could say the same about Ike, that he's a slower, heavier truck. But with Roy, it's a bit more balanced. However, Fox, on the other hand, is quite fast, but does not hit extremely hard. He just manages to hit a lot. So it comes down to a balance of, if Fox gets hit by Roy, it's going to be felt. However, the problem is he can't hit him in the first place, or struggles to. Whereas Fox, if in the hands of a decent player, can get around Roy's slow shortcomings pretty well. So that's my main and rival fight.
There you go. So, see, I like that. And I want you to defend your choice of your favorite with like your gameplay, like the way you play a fighting game, how you want your characters to play, like fast or slow or tanky or whatever, or like lore design, or just, hey, I like this character because I grew up with that.
My entire gameplay style is one-hit wonders anyway. I can't
Yep.
see.
Oh God, I don't know, man. I play a lot of characters in Smash, so it's hard to like narrow it down.
So then, who are you afraid of fighting?
Geez. Who do I not like to fight? That's a good question.
Is that character considered your favorite at that point, though?
I don't know that I have like an all-time favorite. I guess if I was gonna pick one, I guess Marth, but that's only because I put hours into him, like more hours than I care to count.
Morph.
But like that's only because he's been in the game since Melee. You know what I mean? And I like playing.
Back in there.
I do like playing Luigi, and he's been in it since the first one, but you know he wasn't that great back then. And even with the newer ones, like Zero Suit Samus is a lot of fun. Samus in general is just a lot of fun.
You seem to favor these faster characters, then, don't you?
I guess to an extent, yeah, the faster ones.
Faster characters.
But then I'll play something weird like Snake, and Snake's not exactly fast. I would say because I play a large, like a semi-decent range of characters, that it's hard to narrow down what a good rivalry would be. Other than, I guess, it comes down to who I'm playing. Physically who I'm playing. Like if I was playing against Rory, I would probably pick Marth because we like the sword users. If I was playing against Matt, I might pick something like Zero Suit Samus because it's fun to just dash around the screen and be a constant pain in the ass. It really comes down to who I'm fighting, and that will dictate like who I play.
Well, okay, so your go-to, like you're in a new situation and you don't know any of these other people you're playing against, so you want to put your best foot forward, your go-to guy, your wingman, the guy who's fought for you and given you more wins than any other character. That is what I consider to be your favorite. So with those criteria in mind,
with that criteria, probably Marth. If we're gonna nitpick it like that, it's probably gonna be Marth. If only because he's fast, he's balanced enough to where I know what I need to do to be able to take down the majority of the cast. I would almost say with relative ease. Plus, I mean, counter's OP, so.
Were you to take Marth's rival, a character that would clash with Marth if they were in a setting together, or just like some stupid game lore, or just somebody you think Marth would have a really hard time against? So you think Fox for Roy? That's pretty good. Who would piss Marth off the most, you think?
Well, the game would have you believe Link, but I don't know. I don't know that that's right. Somebody he doesn't really pair well against.
Well, Marth's like pretty prim and proper.
Marth is very noble and against evil. I think he'd get pissed off with Ganondorf.
You're not wrong. He probably would.
Well, I like the game would have you believe Link, because I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't even be an angry rivalry. It might be a friendly rivalry where they're trying to figure out who's the better sword fighter, or who fights better with just sword. I don't know. I'm just trying to get the creative juices flowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel like if anything, range is kind of his downfall. So any character that has range would probably pair against him pretty well, because you got to be in a pretty sweet spot with Marth to be able to do the majority of his damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you got somebody who's got ranged attacks, like I don't know. Zelda's got some range to her. Bayonetta has some range to her. Characters like that would probably.
Marth don't like guns.
Yeah, also that. Guns and swords, don't really mix well.
The eternal matchup.
A tale of swords and souls eternally retold.
Oh, there we go. Put Mitsurugi in Smash. Put Ivy in Smash. Alex, who's your guy?
If I was in a situation where I was like, first time I have to try to beat this person, I probably will go Little Mac, a little embarrassingly. And his rival is anyone with a throw.
Air fighter.
Um,
Anyone with a throw.
So that's the rough part. I am fucking astounded that his side B no longer locks him out of a third jump in the new Smash. That is fucking huge. That will actually make him viable in the air, in my opinion, because now he gets this huge leap that he can connect with. And I think he's actually going to be really, really dangerous. Because he is a powerhouse. And we know Sakurai doesn't like to nerf anything. He's just going to be like, oh man, this character is too powerful. Just make everyone more powerful.
Oh god.
That's kind of how he does it. I'm going to say Mewtwo is a horrible, horrible matchup for Little Mac. Because he has so many right in front of you stuns and trip ups and weird, like, his throws are very, very strange. And
that would be... Sorry, go ahead.
No, he's just a really floaty character, and Little Mac is all about running and precision. One of Little Mac's things is his counter. Like, that's... Oh shit, I have to be in close. It's not like most of the swordsmen where, like, yes, they have counters, but they also have a little bit of range, and especially Marth, where, like, you want to be a little far away. That's a good thing. Mac, you always want to be close, so that counter is real important. Mewtwo's just gonna fuck you up if you counter anything.
Whoop, where you going, buddy?
Yeah.
Whoop, I'm over here. Whoop, whoop, look at me. Oh, now you're throwing you. Oh, look at this. This throw can juggle you.
It almost seems like Mewtwo is never Mewtwo is never intended to attack first. He does a special and then follows up with an attack, which is not good for counters.
Well, I'm gonna follow up with mine. And yeah, look at that. It used to be Lucas. I'm pretty sure Rory and Chris were with me when I won that Nintendo tournament with Lucas out of a sheer like fluke.
Yeah, I remember.
That was a good time. But I've learned to appreciate the boy in blue Mega Man. I think out of all the playing I've done, I'm pretty sure if I were to go into a weird setting today, I would I did. I went into a weird setting at PAX. I played with a bunch of people that I know, like, I've never met these people. I'm just going to throw down, and all of my matches that I won were with Mega Man. So if I'm going to go into, if I'm going to go pick a favorite with the criteria I put down earlier, it's got to be Mega Man. He's my right-hand man. And I think when it comes to a rival, I jumped into the awkward zombie shit where I'm just like, I feel like Samus would be a good rival for Mega Man because he would like Samus for oh hey look, it's a robot, it's an attractive robot, and then she would take her clothes off and he'd get pissed. So he's just like, oh, that's not what I wanted.
A rival for lusty reasons.
Hey, this is Aiko from Candy Pop, and you're listening to the Otaku Podcast because you're awesome.
Success! Woohoo!
Exactly. Well, like in terms of gameplay, I don't know. Mega Man gets pooped on by Mario a lot because Mario's just kind of got an answer for everything. And I also really
he's
like
supposed to be the balanced character. He's supposed to be one all the others are based around.
Yeah, it's just I remember seeing like when I was at E3 when Wii U got revealed. There's just that match between Mario and Mega Man was so close, and I never really got it out of my head. So I think. And like the whole thing kind of burned in my head even more with the Ridley reveal because I was just like, Samus trusts Mario and Mega Man enough to go hunt down Ridley with her, and I'm like, yeah, there we go. That's a good rivalry right there. Just like, who's gonna get the poop on Ridley first? It's gonna be me. No, it's gonna be me. Like, I don't know. It's trivial, and I thought that was cute. So there you go. Let's. Give me some Mega Man. My honorable mentions were Shulk and King DDD, and Lucas. But Awkward Zombie, I have you to blame for this, Rory.
You're welcome.
You showed this to me, the work of Miss Katie Teardrick. I met her at a convention. I met her at Kineticon one year, and she drew me when I was cosplaying Parappa the Rapper.
Oh,
she's
cool.
Neurotically sweet, and she's just the stuff that comes out of her head. Whenever I think of Smash Brothers, I always think of those comics that she used to draw, of everybody just living together in an apartment and all the characters interacting with each other. Like, it was really stupid, and it was just a hobby of hers. But I was like, I don't know. I feel like these characters would sit there and jive like this together, I guess. So when I say rivalries and stuff, I often think back to that sort of thing. And would be neat if they had a little more of that. Like if they were ever going to do a new adventure mode or a new story, a new celebration of Smash, if you will, for the new game, I would want to see something like that happen where the characters are forced to interact with each other in some way.
Where like Captain Falcon meets Fox and he goes, "Don't I know your father?"
Yeah, something like that. Like, and they wouldn't even have to do it with words. Like, we know Nintendo is a master of their craft at telling a story that doesn't need words. Like, and we've already seen earlier in the trailer that all the characters have new expressions now, and they're more expressive than ever and are bursting with character. So I feel like even something as rudimentary as just like a quick meeting up in a story mode.
That's gonna make these photos that people come up with online even better this go around.
Oh, like the fan art? Yeah, definitely. And like, even with all this new stuff, I'm surprised that Katie or Awkward Zombie hasn't found an excuse to go back and draw more of those comics. The one I see getting thrown around a lot right now is the one where they're trying to get Ridley to join the roster and live in the apartment.
Yeah, they're all trying to get Samus to agree to let Ridley in. Talking about how, like, look, you can even rivals can be paired up together, and it's got like DDD playing Kirby and checkers, and he's all pissed off, and a whole bunch of like kid Lynx are bothering Ganon while he's trying to read a newspaper. And she's just like, he killed my parents. And it's like, one time.
We finally got him through the door, Samus. He killed my parents one time. Like you just see him sweating. He's got a little tie on, and I'm just like, that's fucking funny. And then the comic where Martha's pissed off at something, and I can't remember who starts talking to him, but he's like, by the gods, and it's Zelda.
They're talking about the gods, and then Palutena walks in.
Yeah, like everybody's Fox is like an atheist. He's just like, I've been to space. There's no god, and everybody starts arguing about religion. And Palutena walks in, and they all fucking clam up.
Hey guys, what you talking about? It's like,
what's going on? Like stuff like that.
One of the earliest ones where I think Link gets something thrown into his face by Roy, and a coin pops out of him. He's like, did that coin just come out of your face? Yeah. And then Marth comes around the corner because he hears them, just all this ruckus. There's a bunch of coins on the ground. They're just beating each other with like bats or something. They're like, we're going to be rich.
They just start beating the fuck out.
That's one of like the first ones.
I liked the whole debacle with Roy and how he tried to come back, and Master Hand's like, no one may enter after leaving the roster. And then he just brings up but he's still here. What was it? 2 Links and Mewtwo or something? I can't remember the punchline from that one, but that one was good. And then DDD flipping out that all these anime characters are in Smash Brothers now. He's like, all these anime guys, they're running all of us normal people out of house and home. We got to do something. Luigi's like, what are you talking about? And they look over at Link. He's just like, right, Link, you agree with us, right? And Link's full anime now.
You feel like
DDD
the anime
starts
face.
screaming. Like DDD's facial expressions. I can't every time.
I like when Lucina finally joins the roster and she meets with Marth and she just loses her mind.
She's like, hey, Grandpa.
Yeah, and he's like all distraught about it, and now she's distraught that he's distraught.
It's so stupid, but it's stuff like that.
They're supposed to be, they're all living together in a house together, and it's just a debauchery. Samus is cleaning her suit, and Fox wants to see how her arm cannon works, and he finds out it's totally hollow, and he's like, where's the guns? And she just flexes for him. She's jacked.
How Falco gets up in the morning, and he's complaining about the birds, and he looks out the window, and it's Samus.
Yeah, Samus squawking. It's like, really? You too? It's like, I was raised by birds.
It's little crap like that. Like, you could definitely tell that the fans definitely had an influence in Ultimate. It's just the little things definitely are coming together and making this Ultimate. And I would appreciate it so much more if they forced that kind of interaction somewhere.
So does that mean that we're gonna segue into the most cancerous thing about fandom in Smash Bros?
Because he is the
oh good. I was hoping.
I want to say he's the outlier in this whole part of the conversation that we're having. And I don't think it's his fault. And if you haven't guessed it by now, we're talking about Waluigi.
I have had this fucking soundboard up for since we started, because I figured when the Scopy thing came up, people would be saying Waluigi, and I'd be like, wah, wah. And now it's not working now that you fucking bring him up.
He knows. He's like, I don't want any part of this.
When you go to edit this, you're going to hear 2 whas when you mention Waluigi that everyone just skipped right over, and now it just isn't working. I hope you're all proud.
In post, I'll throw a bunch of whas in there just for you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah,
that's funny.
The conversation is supposed to steer towards how... It's supposed to steer towards the fact that everybody keeps talking about how they want Waluigi in the game, and it's getting kind of annoying. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, it kind of couldn't stop thinking about it when we were talking about these Echo Fighters. And I was thinking, I wonder if Waluigi could have been an Echo Fighter of like Luigi, but then I thought no, because his moves wouldn't exactly be the same. And then it made me think, how did Luigi become its own fighter? All of his moves are supremely bizarre, and they're never really touched upon in any other Mario game that's ever been. He doesn't go flying sideways. He doesn't go plank position and balance on his belly. He doesn't do any of this weird stuff. So it's like, I wonder why they wouldn't consider making Waluigi a new character. It wouldn't be too difficult, but then I realized Waluigi's never really been in his own game in any way. He's always been an addition when it's a game with mass characters. Like, I think he was literally invented to be a second character with Wario for Mario Tennis.
Correct.
So he was never intended to like be its own character alone. Wario gets his own Wario games, and he's got an entirely different move set than like what Mario would do. So all these people complaining that Waluigi doesn't get in the game, and I have to admit, I love Waluigi for all the wrong reasons. So when they say, you know, he's not going to be in the game, like what did they do? They even showed pictures and a screenshot that said something like, no matter, even if you work hard, that doesn't guarantee that you'll be in Smash.
Yeah,
I don't really need him in Smash, but if he was in Smash, I'm sure he'd be popular. But they don't have to break their backs trying to do that. Because if we do that, then they're just going to start talking about, oh, we really need another character in this game.
Ow. That one actually hurt my ears. Oh, God.
Wow. These are all just numbered, so I've just been hitting
That was
random.
good. That was perfect. I honestly, I do enjoy Waluigi. I do. But from what I'm seeing right now, like with people sending Sakurai death threats, like the legit happened.
Yeah,
people are
shut
sending
up.
him death threats for Waluigi. I'm like, is it just because Ridley's gone and they needed a new meme character to latch onto? Because it's turning into Rick and Morty levels of shit.
It's ridiculous.
And I don't like it. Like, I'm pretty sure when you were talking about how Waluigi was just created as a doubles partner for Wario, I want to say, I think I was talking about this with you, Chris. There's somewhere, I can't remember, I haven't looked it up since we talked about it, but Waluigi is just content playing sports with his friends, and he doesn't want to do anything. He's just a guy. So I like he wouldn't go out and like beat the fuck out of his friends. I guess that doesn't
even
hold.
though he raffle stomps people as an assist trophy.
Yeah, that doesn't hold in an argument, I guess, because half these characters don't go out beating their friends up.
But it's true though. I mean, they show him with the tennis racket in his assist trophy, don't they?
Yeah, he's like he likes playing sports with his friends.
Maybe it's an homage to like that's where he was created, was Mario Tennis.
It would make sense. And I feel like if they were going to put Waluigi in the game, he should be a new character that focuses on his sports appearances. Because what the fuck else are they gonna do? He's got the rose. He does the crotch chop. He kicks a ball. He plays golf. Like
I forgot about the crotch chop.
Waluigi.
Oh my god.
He's raunchy and he's rude and
Maybe
he hangs out with.
Could have something to do with all the sports that he's been in. Who knows? But
Yeah.
I don't see them. They even admitted that it takes a lot of work, especially like how with Alex said, they could add one character. Who knows how long it takes to do all the balances at that point? The bigger the roster, the more balance is required for one single character. And they already made plans to have a cup, like just this handful of new characters, Ridley, the Squids, and stuff like that. And they said that with the huge roster that they have, bringing everybody back, it's not exactly easy. So don't get too excited hoping for, like 7 new characters as it goes. It's not going to be like Wii U where they just wouldn't stop bringing in these fucking characters. I mean, Jesus.
Well, we're going to get in on the character discussion in a second when it comes to new additions, because I have some information about that we can speculate about. But Waluigi, I think, is just a special case where Sakurai felt like he didn't need to. Like, I kind of don't think he needed to be on the roster either. Would I have liked to see him? Yeah. But he was fine doing what he did. He had a tennis racket and he curb stomped people. Yeah. Like, you'd have a hard time trying to figure out what else he could do. The same, like, he had the same issue with Peach, and it took him, like, what, 4 or 5 years just to develop Peach? Not 5 years specifically, but he has said in the past that he had a really hard time trying to come up with stuff for her. And he's probably sick of that shit. But what irritates me the most is the fucking war that the fans are going on into right now for Waluigi, and it's making me want him in there less. Like, if you don't look at any of this, then it doesn't bother you as much. But I don't. Why are people going to war for Waluigi?
It's the same shit with the Geno shit. That was a big fucking deal, like, between Brawl and Smash 4. Everybody, Geno this and Geno fucking that. And yeah, it's a cool idea because, again, Nintendo Museum representation. There's literally no Quest for the 7 Stars representation in the entirety of Smash Brothers. I think it might be mentioned somewhere in, like, a trophy bio or some shit, but it's not like they do it at all.
Well, Geno has a Mii costume.
That would be
for her, so like, they know he's there.
But
so
aside from... It's a cool idea, but people went way too fucking far. Way too far. And now I never want to see him again.
Like, it's irritating. Like, I think Waluigi is a great meme, but just let him be that.
Yeah.
In his essence, that is his essence. He's a meme.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a joke. And that's what makes him funny and endearing. And people who are willing to send Sakurai death threats about his representation in the game just makes me not want to see him anymore, and that hurts.
Yeah. The thing is, I would say Waluigi might be my favorite Mario character.
Yeah,
because,
for real.
Like, he has a great design for such a stupid thing that they did. But here's the, like, blanket. There's enough fucking Mario representation. Don't pretend like Waluigi is his own representation. You're ridiculous. Mario's got enough. Daisy was even going through far, but she's there, whatever. It's no effort. Throw her in there. That's great. Way too much Mario. You got it. You nailed it. You're done.
Do you guys have anything else to add on Waluigi? Because, I mean,
Rory. I already said everything I needed to say.
Well, then Waluigi aside, give me an example, because we're going to wrap it up here soon. So I want to get to this question and then the information I had to share. Give me an example, rather, of a character that you guys want in Smash Brothers. Like, you unironically want this character in there, but you know it's not happening. Like Goku. Like, you really like Goku, and you think he's got a chance, but there's no fucking way.
No, then I probably would have leaned back towards, sort of what they're doing in a couple other fighting games right now, where they're just straight up bringing other fighting characters from different franchises in.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I would have been fine with some of the characters from Guilty Gear. Throw Chip in there, throw Jam, Soul, whatever. Guilty Gear just happens to be my favorite fighter. And I still think they would fit. I still think the balance would be there. You just tone their flashiness down by like 50%, and they'd actually fit pretty well.
That'd be pretty tough to do. Guilty Gear is all about that flash.
It is all about that flash, but I've even entertained how I would make tweaks and balances. I even came up with the fucking final smash for some of these characters. Like, there's not much. I don't feel like it would take too much, but at the same time, I don't feel it's appropriate to actually put them in there. But I would definitely get a kick out of getting them in there. I mean, heck, I would even be like payable DLC. I would jump on.
Yeah, like say you won the Invitational and Sakurai's like, I'll make one character you request, and you would say my bad guy?
My soul bad guy. That's my boy.
What would his final smash be? No,
Dragon Install.
Ah,
he gets 10 seconds of Dragon Install, and he's stunned afterwards. The same weakness, the same strength. All it does is makes him faster and makes him hit harder, and his moves become their full 100% flashiness. But ultimately, it's just like one of those transformations, which they don't seem to be a big fan of in Ultimate. So, I mean, it wouldn't fit. But if they did, then that's what I would do. Easy, cheesy.
Just give him his instant KO. Give him his napalm death.
Yeah,
He
you
can't
could
transform.
do that, and it could just be if you're on the same platform as him or the same general area. But I feel like it's a little, it's gonna be hard to balance. Everybody else has got these crazy, you could possibly survive it. Napalm death in this case would be grossly unbalanced and hilarious.
I mean,
It's like, oh
Marth
god,
and
you're
Lucina
fine.
have the instant kill from their Smash Ball.
I don't think it would be horribly unbalanced in Ultimate, considering if you're playing an 8-player Smash and you're using a character that screen wipes, you at the very maximum would get 7 KOs.
I mean, like some characters move, like you look at Lucas and Ness, and they're I'm not sure what the moves are called, Matt, but like some sort of meteor rain that's going on. They actually vary between the two characters, yes, but if you were really good, which I am not, you could dodge or roll away from most of the attacks. Me, on the other hand, I faceplant into most of them at the same time. Bright, shiny objects.
Just in case, it is PK Starstorm, just in case anyone...
Oh, thank you.
Anybody care? Just wanted to throw that out there.
I didn't want someone else to, I don't know how commenty your commenters get.
Not terrible, but maybe one day.
It will start with a Smash discussion, I promise.
That would be that would be
probably
my perfect world edition. Since I've already got Mega Man in there, I don't know who else I could really vouch for.
Well, that would be cool. Like if it kind of like Ike, where he throws out an initial attack, and if it connects, then Soul throws out the Napalm Death. That'd be fucking rad. I would take him only if I got an alternate costume of Holy Order Soul.
So
then I would be happy.
Yeah, well, obviously he comes with all the best costumes, but no, I guess his Ultimate Smash starter would be like a flying knee that he has to hit somebody with, and then if he connects, he does a napalm.
Nah, man, give him his goofy, like, fly across the screen backwards and then
the
foot.
I forgot about that, and that would be an instant kill because he would jump backwards trying to land on a wall, and it's just...
You just keep going.
And if he wins on the splash screen, he says, "Girlfriend." That would be great. No, I want that. I'm sad. Can you top that, Chris?
We got to get that modded in there.
Yeah, we do. Oh no, don't make me bust out the Wii again. Not again.
I'm sure it exists somewhere. That's not like it's a completely unheard of.
Can you top that, Chris?
Can I top that? I mean, probably not. It would be super goofy, but work with me here. Let's put in just to have another Metal Gear character. Let's put in Raiden from Metal Gear Solid Revengeance.
Oh God, Rules of Nature.
I feel like it would play like Bayonetta.
No, here's the thing. All of his attacks would be the most over-the-top, dumbass bullshit. Like his final smash, he would cut a metal and then beat you with it. Because that's what he does in the game.
I figured he would just cut the stage in half and everybody falls off.
Jesus.
That's what he does in the game. He just cuts everything up. That's it, man. Don't give him a counter because he didn't really have a counter. I mean, he had a reflect, I guess, but there was no guarding. So like he'd just be completely broken and unfair, and just slice everybody up. His B would be like a weird freeze, and then he just cuts him up, and he does some stupid ninja shit where he puts his sword in the sheath, and then they go and they explode.
Some over the top Animu mango bullshit.
Oh yeah, 100%, absolutely. Just make him anime the character, and it's perfect.
DDD's like, God damn it, more.
I want him to break dance with swords in his feet and slice everybody up. It just absolutely like all the while Rules of Nature is blaring in the background.
Yep. There we go. Can one of his alts be nude Raiden?
Sure. Why not?
With a towel. There we go.
Has to hold his hands over his crotch.
Hit him with the taint flips.
No, that's Raiden's Echo Fighter nude Raiden. He can only fight with his feet because his hands are covering his crotch.
It's like a Doomsday and Injustice.
Oh yeah. That's a good parallel.
Darkseid. Oh my god, not Doomsday. Jesus, I'm sorry.
I want one of his win quotes, like one of his taunts, to be "nanomachines, son," and that's it. That's all it needs to be.
Oh man, I could see it now. Just spamming on stream. Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald nanomachine, son? Over and over. The edgiest.
I also want an alternate costume of his to be Mariachi Raiden from that game. Have you seen that?
What the fuck? No.
Oh, dude, look it up. Look it up.
Google it. It's funny.
Oh, it's so great.
It's literally
I don't know what that looks like.
his cyborg outfit, and he's got like a poncho and a sombrero on, and he's supposed to be in disguise in like Mexico.
But then
Didn't they give him a fake mustache?
I think they might have. Yeah, it was
like a black mustache, I think, with this bright blonde hair.
It was so unabashedly like
wrong.
Borderline racist. It was so
wrong.
Goddamn.
We already mentioned Banjo-Kazooie. I think that would be the only reveal they could do that universally would make everyone really happy.
Yeah. See, I was gonna say them, but I think they have a shot. So
You're trying not to jinx it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knock on
Sing it
wood.
out loud.
My only other thing also has a shot, but something that I'm real butthurt about. I don't even care how. I want either a stage or a character. I want some Rhythm Heaven representation in this.
No, I think they have a shot too, dude.
God damn it. I appreciate the trophies. I love them to death. But man, that is one of my favorite franchises, and they could do so much completely goofy, ridiculous nonsense shit with it. And I think
I agree.
I think a stage would be a little better for representation, but man, did I want the fucking Glee Club. That would have been so cool.
Honestly, I think they have a shot, dude. I really do.
Or Karate
I also saw that Twitter video of somebody doing Karate Joe.
Yeah, Karate Joe would be great. Karate Joe, the Glee Club is a little weird because I kind of hate them, but I like that I hate them. But Karate Joe and the fucking wrestler, come on!
Wubba lubba dub, is that true?
Yeah! Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? Wubba dub.
Is that true?
Like,
oh my god.
Shit, I would scream.
What's his name? Marshall from the Glee Club?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Rhythm has a shot. There's a lot of stuff going around about Rhythm Heaven's representation.
I will be satisfied. I already said that, like, I can't ask for anything new. I think what they're doing is perfect. Like, you really can't ask for more. But in a world where I am asked specifically, the obvious choices: Banjo-Kazooie, Shovel Knight. We forget Shovel Knight.
There you go. There's somebody.
I think
Shovel Knight is
a
good a character with low chances that you unironically want. Shovel Knight, that's good. I'll take that.
That's an interesting thought that I wouldn't have considered.
Man, I think he fits, and I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility. Like, I know every time a new game comes out, they're like, "Oh my god, we got to put fucking Sans in the game because he's gonna have a like anytime a new game comes out, they gotta have him in Smash." But Shovel Knight, they were not new to the game of retro style, but I think they were the first time where it was so fine-tuned and perfected that people really appreciated what Nintendo introduced. It'd be great. That'd be fun DLC. Honestly, that would be a fun surprise DLC. How's that?
Well, yes, that's good. See, I know the game gets a lot of shit, primarily because of its fan base, but I'm not going to say Banjo-Kazooie because I think they have a shot, and that's all I want, but I unironically think Sans has a shot. Sans from Undertale. I really do think.
I'm so sorry.
I can see it happening, and that's irritating, but I wouldn't mind it. I think it would be neat to see him in there. I like the game. I really do. I enjoy Undertale. I know it gets a lot of shit, but seeing Sans in there, I just think he fits, and I think it would work. I think if anyone could find a way, it'd be Sakurai. But my real answer, only because I did a lot of work on this character for Wii modding, exploring his potential in the one game appearance he's ever had, and going back and reading the comics, I think it would be fun to have Scott Pilgrim in Smash Brothers.
Interesting.
I loved the beat 'em up to death, and the homages that he had to other games in his own game were great, and they were numerous. And just seeing the things that he had done in the comic in parallel to other video game characters helped me mesh him into his own character. Like, I'm pretty sure Rory and Chris here have played using the mod that I made.
Yeah, I remember.
Scott.
I remember doing that a while back,
and he was a lot of fun. And I was like, I think it would be really neat to see a fully realized Scott Pilgrim in Smash Brothers.
In the ridiculous world we're living in right now, that is a fun, original idea, and I like it.
You're not wrong.
That's pretty cool.
You know, given some polish, some time, and some cash, they could really make Scott something special.
They could.
I wish my answer was funny, like Soul Bad Guy.
I have a better answer for a character that needs to be added in Smash.
And
Yeah.
Captain Broken.
Captain
No,
Broken.
stop. He's dead. I'll
He's
hurt
like,
you.
God.
All right, so the thing I wanted to wrap up with was this leak that I found from some guy who was posting on event hubs. I don't know if you
Good
heard
night,
about
everybody.
this rumor. Huh? Supposedly this rumor has some legs. So if it turns out to be true, you heard it here first. I got you covered. So this guy on event hubs is saying that aside from Ridley and the Inkling, we're going to be seeing Simon Belmont from Castlevania. I'm pretty sure we talked about him before, Chris.
Yeah, I would love to see any Castlevania in that at all. It would be great.
It would make sense only because Sega and Capcom have two representatives, and Bomberman was already deconfirmed, so Konami could get a second one, and Simon would be the only logical choice, I guess.
That's interesting that they would pick Simon instead of their more
Richter
poster board character, Richter.
Yeah, Richter would be good too.
He's a better color palette and maneuverability, but Simon is technically their icon.
Yeah, he's the oldest Castlevania character, isn't he? Aside from Dracula himself.
He's the oldest in terms of actual gameplays being produced, but there are technically characters that are before Simon. He's not the first of the Belmont clan.
Why Simon? Why not the Shield Rod as a character?
The Shield Rod itself. Interesting. I would have thought at first glance or first hearing that Castlevania getting any representation in Smash might be ridiculous, but then I remember Bayonetta's in the game. So
yeah, seriously,
anything is possible.
For real.
I'm trying to think of how abuse of a long-range weapon like the whip could be, though.
It would be great.
Sheik's got one.
I think it would be something. It would be the only way I could think to balance it, and I'm not going to think too deep into it. Obviously, his B moves will be his sub-weapons. That is without a doubt.
No, yeah.
That actually would work really well. Up B, axe, side B, cross, down B, holy water. That's easy.
Maybe his
neutral B would be like the dagger. That's actually really easy. But anyways, the only balance I could imagine would be the whip. Let it be a long range, like, the whip length. But when it hits a character, it's like Fox's pistol. No flinch. It does damage, but it's not going to... You can't stun lock somebody with the whip. So you got to be able to whip and move to hit people, just like in Castlevania. No enemies in the first Castlevania games with Simon Belmont. When you whip them, will they come to a complete stop to save you? I mean, yeah, you can hit them and they'll stop, and you can maybe bust out another whip to kill them. But if you mess up one whip swing, you get ran over like a truck.
Yeah.
So I feel that would apply in a fighting game too.
So it's a nerfed version of Sheik's whip.
Kind of. Like Sheik's whip stuns you, but it does like no damage. And obviously you wouldn't want this character's main weapon, their main A attack, which should be omnidirectional really, to be, even though Simon could never pick up on that ability because he's an idiot. So
can't flail the whip.
You gotta I want a spadagonal direction where you just hold it A and then you just arm pump, but he doesn't know how to do spadagonal. Only Richter can do spadagonal.
Well, I was gonna say maybe Simon's assist trophy could be Richter.
No, I feel not. If there was going to be other Belmonts, that would be a final smash, sort of like Mega Man.
Yeah,
where they bring in other Belmonts. But his assist trophy should be something more interesting, like Dracula.
What is a man?
Yeah, exactly.
He
That would be
throws
great.
a cup of wine at you.
Yeah, that's his final.
Yeah, that's it. That's all he does. He just comes in, throws a wine glass in, and shoots you. Instant kill. No, he comes in, but then he transforms into one of his many boss forms. In fact, you can make it interesting and have him come in, and he could transform into one of 4 of his boss forms from the different Castlevania games. He's got all sorts of them. So, like, have one from his Portrait of Ruin, have one from his regular Castlevania series, have him one where he's in Super Castlevania, where he's pretty much like taking up the whole damn screen and he's in the background, stuff like that. Like, you never know what Dracula's going to turn into next. So
that would be pretty good.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, I did all the work for him. Let's just have them put him in the game. I've already figured out all the movesets.
And if he doesn't do it, then I'm gonna send him death threats.
There you go.
Let's be that guy.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking like the internet.
Yeah. There's more on here. They had honestly, I don't care too much for her. Alma from Xenoblade Chronicles X. King K. Rool.
Okay.
I think he's a lock, to be honest. Like, it's him or Dixie Kong, and she's on this list too.
I think Dixie is a much better addition to the roster. Although I would love to have Donkey Kong Villains, he's not relevant and hasn't been in a really long time, and I love him to death. But no.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think K. Rool might be tricky because they'd have to redo, and then Dixie Kong would be on that dancing line between, am I going to be an Echo Fighter or am I going to have my own moveset that's, even though I'm a new character, but very similar.
She would have to be the same. She would, because everyone likes to palette swap her with Diddy, and that doesn't even make sense to me.
I don't think they could reuse Diddy's assets for her, only because from all her other appearances, she plays completely differently. But people have been saying that from what they've seen out of Diddy Kong and all the trailers and stuff, he seems like he plays differently to where he doesn't use his tail anymore. And he was the only one that had one. Dixie does not have one.
Dixie does not have a tail, yeah.
So Rory is correct.
Oh, I get what you...
She's not a true super sandwich.
Yeah, she there's a fine line for her. And I guess we don't know yet, but it wouldn't make sense to see her like in a jetpack or using a peanut gun. But,
no, that would be insane.
But her recovery, I don't know. I really don't know.
Her hair spin move for like a side B.
So she could be a Dr. Mario scenario where she's not quite an Echo, but she is still a newcomer.
Technically, she's still a Donkey Kong character, but I don't know. It's that fine line where they're just on it.
Yeah, I know he's not
like Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
If you didn't have Dixie using her hair like that. That would be
Isn't
like
that her whole thing.
Yeah,
that would be like Bowser not having his shell or something.
Right.
That is her whole thing.
Weird.
And I know he's not relevant, but I think K. Rool would be fun because out of all his appearances, he's always had weird outfits and weird attacks to go with them. I think he'd be a nice, refreshing new character that's not samey bullshit, much in the vein of Ridley, where he's brand new and they've had time. Like Rory did say that Sakurai is like, don't expect too many newcomers, but hey, we've got some. And I think K. Rool would be nice, kind of to just inject the dead husk with some sort of viscous fluid to help him get back on his feet.
Don't get me wrong. It would be fun to have like this crown throwing king that turns into a pirate with cannonballs and then a professor who builds giant robots. Like, don't get me wrong, that all sounds interesting. It's just irrelevancy, and there's no way both of them are coming.
Right.
Dixie and K. Rool aren't, and Dixie is a better representation. Yeah.
It would be cool. DK deserves it. We've got the Chorus Kids, so the Glee Club. Okay. They're on this list.
Yeah, please, if you take anything away from this, can you call them the Glee Club and stop with this Chorus Kids shit? I don't know where this came from.
I think the Chorus Kids is just the Japanese name for that game, the mini game.
That might be true.
I don't know.
If I'm just a bad fan, then if that's true.
Can't they just get the Elite Beat agents and call it a day?
I know. Yes, dude, you have no idea how much I want the Elite Beat agents. Again, I have you to blame for that, man.
Final Smash is you do the dance perfectly and you win the match. It's over.
Everybody has to play the dance minigame. And then the last character on this list in terms of newcomers is Ashley from WarioWare. And
that's not happening.
I don't have.
That doesn't seem feasible. I don't see her having any ability.
I have next to no knowledge on the character other than she's a waifu and she waves a stick. So
literally the only evidence people have is that's another trophy that didn't show up.
Well, an assist trophy? Yeah, but
yeah, that's
Sakura's
the only
like there's
evidence
over
people
50.
Have. It's ridiculous.
So, yeah.
She has her little imp. What's she gonna be, an Echo Fighter of fucking Rosalina? Like that's. Wait.
Impossible.
No.
All right, that was pretty good.
And then the last three characters on this list, they're Echo Fighters. One of them is Daisy. Another one is Dark Samus, and the other one is the Octoling.
Someone had pointed out that the Octolings went into production. I'm sorry, Smash went into production so much earlier that the Octolings, they would have to rush really, really hard in order to have them be an Echo Fighter. It's still possible, but it would be very, very last minute. Because even when
just better to have them be a palette swap,
right? Well, we know that they're not because we've seen all of Inkling's palette swaps, which is irritating. True. But it's the same excuse I got when I expressed my undying interest in Springman from ARMS joining the roster. Mm-hmm. I would love Springman. I love that character to death. But everybody's like, I guess there's some document that Sakurai filled out about the characters he wanted to add long before ARMS was finished. So I'm like, that sucks. Maybe he'll be DLC.
I don't think ARMS is there yet. I'm sorry. I don't want to crush your dreams. It's your own opinion, and that's great. But like Splatoon proved itself.
It did
very, very quickly. ARMS
not so much.
People aren't even talking about ARMS anymore now.
I have like over 200 hours in that game. I fucking love ARMS. It's so fun.
You can have it, and I want you to be happy.
Thank you.
I need you to know.
You can have it. Just go over there.
Take him over there. All right, fine. Maybe I will. The couple of the things on this information thingy, this document. Every stage is returning except for Miiverse and Henenbo.
That's weird. A lot of stages.
I don't know what Henenbo is.
Yeah, what is that?
It's that flat one, that Electrobes one or whatever. Spectrobes, I don't remember. It was that flat one with the tree and the leaves that changed color.
Okay.
That was a Pikmin stage, right?
No, it was from what's that fucking rhythm
Electroplankton.
Game? Electroplankton. Good job.
Okay.
Thank you.
I remember
that one. Right.
That stage nobody played on.
Yep, that one. For obvious reasons.
Also thought that I heard recent confirmation that not every stage is coming back.
Right. So Miiverse and Henenbo are not.
So I guess those are the. I guess if you want to get nitpicky, then those are going to be the two.
Like Miiverse, I understand, but I don't know what the deal with Electroplankton is. Maybe it's just because it fucking sucked.
It's cute, but it's a shitty stage. Again, I like representation. That stage would be great if it had an Omega form, which it would, and that'd be fine.
Well, and there's the last thing about kind of tying into Omega form. The final boss of Classic mode after Master Hand and Crazy Hand is Final Destination itself with a bunch of weird phases and transformations.
You know what? That's weird enough that I believe it.
So, like,
and the fact that they wouldn't show it off.
Yeah, because
I believe it.
At E3, they're just like, no, this is a weird version of Final Destination that we have just for this event.
I believe a leak. Wow!
Wow! Oh, hey, look. Super Mario about to play.
What?
The game's done quick. They managed to get Super Mario Odyssey in there.
Oh, good.
Oh. And it's about to start.
Yeah, we're just in time because that was pretty much it that I wanted to get to. There's some other stuff on here that's not important, like the whole fucking Sonic movie, and Mario was confirmed to be faster than Usain Bolt, and he's officially been labeled a superhero. But like, what the fuck?
I do think the full Sonic movie will be in Smash Brothers Ultimate. I do think that'll happen.
You can play as Jim Carrey as
and I
Eggman.
think Usain Bolt definitely going to be second wave DLC. 100% confirmed.
No, Usain Bolt is definitely
Absolutely.
Mario's Echo Fighter.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. No, Bolt the dog.
I don't.
Mario's Echo Fighter. Usain Bolt.
I was gonna say I want Usain Bolt to be a palette swap of Mario, but with no physical proportions changed. So it's just like a little flat black man. Just
Yeah, it's like
really
Dente Beaky wrapped around Jigglypuff.
All right.
The more I think about a Dente Beaky skin on a Jigglypuff model, like every time I think about it, it just makes me smile.
Hackers get hacking.
I don't want
Get in there. Get in there.
This is both singly the most inappropriate and the most welcome thing to add.
Okay, I think we're gonna leave it at that because I don't know where else I can go with that. That was perfect. So, Mr. Smitty, this part of the podcast is yours. If people liked you today, where can they find you? Plug your shit.
It's just find me as SailorSmitty, I guess, anywhere. I don't think anybody else uses the tag, thankfully.
All right, Mr. Kiske, we're back to you. I know you've done this before.
Yeah, a handful of times. Oh geez. Well, as per the last few episodes, you can find me on things like Twitch and whatnot. Twitch.tv/LeonKiske. You can also use that same handle to find me on things like Twitter and, well, that's about it, really. So there you go.
Excellent. All right, Mr. Bloody Shadow, how about you?
Well, I've kind of taken a break from literally everything. I deactivated my Facebook and I kind of closed a bunch of stuff.
Good
I
for
left
you.
Random Assault like 2 years ago. So the only thing I'm really doing is if you want to see some creepy black and white artwork, I have an Instagram, Bloody Shadow Productions. But to be fair, I was on Random Assault, and I think if anyone would be interested in this, but raunchier and more erratic, and definitely not safe for anywhere.
Okay.
So check out Random Assault. That's the worst.
I'm a reoccurring guest.
Absolute worst.
We know how to have a garbage time. Good old Flab Slapper. Can always count on him when things get hairy.
Literally never count on Matt for anything. Literally, do not dare.
Do I dare? Oh, find out in the next episode of Random Assault Podcast. All right, if you enjoyed this podcast, or would you like to check out more of my own content, get your fill over at twitter.com/Brosona3FES and follow the links to the platform of your choice. All right, gentlemen, I'm smashed out. So I hope that ties anybody listening to this over until December, because I don't want to make another one of these. At least not until then. Please, for the love of God. Waluigi.
Oh my God, a bunch of new leaks. Guys, we got to do another episode.
Oh, fuck. Are you kidding? Waluigi, play us off.
Wah, I closed the soundboard. Wah, I closed the soundboard. Ah!
So have a great day, folks.